It's like trolls that are also transphobic.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it a transphobic group?
Yeah.
I guess I'm not in there enough to pick up on those vibes.
I'm not sure if they're doing it as a joke, but it's a secret private group. You can't even search for it.
It's not secret.
Oh, it's not?
No, it's a public. It's a regular group.
Is it? Oh, so people can search for it. All right. Good luck. Go find it. Go tell them what I said about them. They suck.
I guess it's listed. It's a private group, but it's not a secret group.
Okay.
So it's searchable.
It's searchable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go tell them that I said they suck.
I know they really love The Mandalorian.
Oh, yeah. I was trying to get banned by telling them that The Mandalorian sucks. So anyways, let's talk about this ad. And The Mandalorian does suck, by the way. It's a bad show.
It doesn't suck. It's just not it doesn't live up to the hype.
It's no good.
All right. This is for $4,500. This is in Keller, Texas. It's a complete pedal board. Strymon, Schmidt Array, Mission Brands. Complete custom pedal board, Strymon pedals, blah, blah, blah. Schmidt Array board, Boss ES8 switching system. Set up and assembled by Emerson Custom. The good folks up at Emerson Custom. Very cool. An amazing assembly of the world's premier pedals and pedal board, fully assembled and ready to rock and roll. No waiting for various Strymon pedals to be available, or the 6 to 8 weeks for a Schmidt Array to be built and shipped, or for the intricacies of assembly and wiring. I feel like 6 to 8 weeks is really fast for something that has to be built and shipped.
Yeah.
I remember back in the day, if you wanted like a custom pedal board from someone, you were waiting like 6 to 8 months.
Yeah.
6 to 8 years.
Well,
some people are still waiting.
They make those pedal boards in the grill factory right next door.
Do they?
Look at them, man. It looks like a barbecue grill.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
They look like a Weber gas grill.
These cases are pretty cool. Anyway, this includes a Strymon Sunset, Strymon Riverside, Strymon Obi-Wan. This has the Holy Trinity, the Timeline, the Mobius, the Big Sky. Is that the Holy Trinity of Strymon? I'm not sure.
Yeah, something like that.
The Strymon Ojai it has 2 Strymon Ojais for power supplies, a Boss ES8. Ernie Ball VP Jr. with the Pro Volume and Tuner mod. Is that the Chernobyl Tone mod?
Yeah.
A Mission Engineering EP1, Mission Engineering Expressionator, Exotic EP Booster.
We can look at the pictures.
Yeah, basically,
it's a lot of very stereotypical praise and worship type stuff. Like this is like you can pull up this picture and be like, oh, here's an example of a praise and worship board. Here you go.
And it's a big board. It's a big board. Let's read that story. Show me that story.
A lot of Strymon. A lot of controllers.
Yeah. So they're saying that this has a value of $6,200. They're asking $4,500. We have this pedal board professionally assembled / built for my son, who was asked to join a praise and worship team. He made the decision that he needed to finish his degree first, which I support. So this board has been built but not used and is practically brand new. We're selling as we need to use the funds to help support his final year of school. All components were purchased new. It was wired and assembled by the professionals at Emerson Custom and Barnett Music of Tulsa. Both the Mission and the Expression Pedal and Expressionator arrived after the build and are not currently connected, so you can hook it up as needed. But the Expressionator allows you to utilize the Expression Pedal abilities of 3 different pedals. I do have the boxes for all the Strymon pedals and the ES8. There are a few scuffs on the lid of the Schmidt Array that occurred during transit from overseas, but they're cosmetic and can be seen in the listing. They're also considering selling the Schmidt Array ES8 and wiring as a shell separately and keeping the pedals. So if he's saying basically if you want the pedal board and the switcher, he will sell you that and keep all the Strymons. I don't think anyone in the group was uppity about the price.
No, because it's all that's all stuff that adds up. It was just more like, oh, this is, oh my gosh, I did not realize what was going on the left-hand side of the bottom right picture. Yeah, there's a clon sitting there.
There's, I think, 2 clons sitting there.
Stereo clons. Yeah.
And a magnetone. Every amp in this picture, there's not a single amp in any of these photos that's less than $2,000.
Right.
Brand new.
is sitting in a room just full of boutique stuff. And I think people were dogging on this or had the instinct to dog on this because like, oh, you put together a pedal board for your kid's first pedal board, huh? And now you're just going to sell it because, oh, you didn't use it. Daddy's little angel didn't use a pedal board that you spent 10 grand on or whatever. And it's like, clearly the dad already has a gear thing going on.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't like a situation where the dad's like, oh, you want to play on the church's worship team? Well, let's dig deep into Daddy Warbucks' pockets here and go down to the store and see what, see what people recommend for a normal praise and worship board. And $10,000 later comes home with a monstrosity that they paid someone to put together. No, the dad already clearly has a gear addiction and the funds to make it a reality. He has got high-end stuff in there. So it's kind of like, I get it, I guess, which sounds weird because I shouldn't get it. Like, this seems over the top.
The comment that I made on it, and people are just like, it's a joke, whatever. Everything's a joke in there. But it's like, if you look at this from the perspective of like, there's no other gear, your kid is just a guitar player and you don't know any better and you just like, you're writing checks, then yeah, this is like stupid.
Right.
But I look at this from the perspective of like, the comment that I made on it was, if your kid wants a pedal board, like, I'm not going to be like, oh, here's a first act and a DS1. Like, I'm going to set them up with like some decent stuff.
You're talking about, yeah, because like from my perspective, if my kid one day was like, Dad, can I have a pedal board and so I can learn to play guitar? I'd be like, well, yeah, let's raid the cupboards over here. I've got lots of stuff. I think that might be what's going on here. Like, the dad is already excited to do this sort of stuff. He already has this sort of stuff around.
Yeah.
It's his hobby already. And so, yeah, of course, he's going to go full tilt on it. He's going to go full extreme. I get it. As a dad, I get it. You want to love your kids, especially when their interests slightly align with your own for a brief moment and you have an opportunity to pour out the thing you love onto the person that you love, but it, to everyone else in the world, it's got to seem pretty bonkers.
Yeah. Well, even like, I don't know. I feel like maybe I should have been not offended isn't the right word. Like I feel like if this would have just popped up, I would have been like, whatever. But like I said, you slow down, you look at everything else that's going on and you're like, this dude apparently he has the resources.
Yeah.
So I don't know, who cares? Whatever. You
know what? He's buying all that stuff. He's putting braces on teeth for builders,
That's true.
Braces on builders' kids' teeth with this stuff.
He also is, recognizing that he's not going to get new value for all of this. And he's, this is priced down like a pretty good chunk. Not like completely down, but
right.
It's down like 1,500. I did wonder about this. Like Danny Lamb mentioned, how many of these were already, how many of these pedals were like used that like he was just like, oh yeah, I got this to check it out and I'm not really using it.
Sure.
He said he had boxes for some of it, but I don't think he explicitly said everything was like all the pedals were brand new, just that the full board assembly was new.
I mean, we have to.
No, he does say everything that went into this build was brand new. So,
yeah, we have to be honest. I mean, it does look like a joke board that was put together to troll.
Oh yeah,
praise and worship groups. Like, it's all Strymon with a fancy looper and the most expensive volume and expression pedals you can get. Well, are those Mission pedals expensive? I don't remember.
I don't know, but they're definitely like considered a higher end.
Yeah, but it's like 2 Strymon drives, Timeline, Big Sky, Mobius. I think that's the Ojai up there, which is the is that a compressor? I forget what the Ojai is.
The orange one?
Yeah.
That's the OB1. That's the compressor.
OB1. Yeah. How is that different from the Compadre that I have? They have 2 compressors?
I don't know.
Huh. Whatever. Once I thought about it for 5 minutes or 5 seconds, however amount of time I thought about it, I was like, I don't care. These people can do whatever they want. Good for them. They've got money.
The difference is that the OB1 is no longer a pedal that they make.
Oh, well, there you go. They phased it out. Man, what's new?
What is new? Well, did we talk about where I'm going to finish off this brownie, the last bite that I had.
I'm half an hour deep into this already, or 40 minutes or so, and I'm not feeling anything yet.
That you know of.
Yeah, maybe the problem is I already feel high all the time. At what point should I double up?
The things I was reading was saying that you shouldn't double up within 2 hours.
Wow.
That you should wait at least 2 hours. I got a couple what's news. My first what's new is, and I talked about this, I think, last week. I did get to record. We did another round of the remote recording for church, the home recording. So I did that. I used the finally got some really good use out of this Yamaha AGO3 mixing console that one of our listeners sent to us. Really, like in the first couple years we were doing this.
Was there a reason for it to us, just to check it out, or
just had a bunch of stuff that he wasn't using? It's the same guy who sent us all those pics. Oh,
okay, cool.
Yeah. So I got to use that, and I used this camera, and it's kind of a weird thing because, you know, when I'm recording, I'm listening to the reference track, but I'm only recording electric guitar. So then when I go and watch the video, it's like the riff that you know, if you're familiar with the song, for like at least one of the songs, it's the riff that you know, and then it's like just noodling for the next 2 minutes, and then the riff that you know again. So it's just like, okay, it just sounds like nonsense, but I'm sure when it's all patched together, it'll make sense. I also kind of just treated it like it was live. So I practiced like all the songs a couple times, and then I just did one like 20-minute video. And if I made a mistake, unless it was just brutal, I just kept going. I was like, this might sound bad, but I think once everything is layered in, it's not going to matter. So yeah, that's one of my what's news. The other what's new I have is probably the same what's new for I think a lot of people this week. Is I'm just going to go ahead and say the new Taylor Swift album is straight fire.
I didn't even know there was a new Taylor Swift album.
It's the way I described it is it's not the album.
You just turned into a robot on me. You're stalled out. You're completely frozen on my side. Are you there?
I am here.
Okay, you're back.
Hi.
So it's not the album. I think you were going to say that
I was going to say it's not the album that we
and you're gone again. Fun podcast here. I'm sure he's still recording on his side and we're talking over each other now and it's just complete chaos. But yeah, I can't hear Steve at all. He's gone completely pixeled on me. Is it my side or is it Steve's side? It might be me. No, Steve just dropped out of the thing. This is a bummer. Yeah, it's got to be Steve because he got kicked out. Well, guys, here we are. I can give an update on my laptop. Last week I spilled beer all over my laptop. Turned out it needed a new battery. I got really lucky. And all that was wrong with his battery, but I had to open it up and clean all sorts of stuff out. Steve says his whole house just went down for internet. Awesome. I'm going to ask him if he can jump on mobile. Hold on a second, Emily. I'm going to have to remember to edit all this in the audio podcast. This is boring stuff. I'm telling Steve to jump on. Oh, he says he's resetting the house, but I told him to jump onto mobile. I just sent a link to Emily, so maybe she can play co-host. People are saying that my eyes look high. How can you even tell over this jumpy internet? And my eyes always look high anyways. Like, people have always accused me of being high. So, I don't know. I'm on the 5G. Well, I'm on my local 5G on my home router. I don't know what Steve's excuse is. It sounds like his house internet completely died. Well, I can open. Oh, there we go. All right, we got Emily here.
Hi, I'm on vacation.
Oh, happy vacation.
Yeah, we're up in Birch Bay, so just kind of north of Seattle and south of Canada.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, you can continue Steve's what's new then. What else is new with Steve?
Well, I have no idea what's new with Steve. You know? Steve's just having a great time being a Patreon supporter at Get Offset and being part of our super secret chat.
Oh my gosh. I need a Patreon people sometime. Okay, Steve is back.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Thanks, Emily. Okay, are you still recording, Steve?
Yeah, I didn't stop it. So I've got a big silence.
I'll clap right here. Remember to cut in right there. Sorry, guys. Everyone stuck around. We still got 85 people here watching. So you never stopped recording on the computer?
No, I just left Audacity running.
Okay, good. Okay, good. All right, you want to finish your what's new?
I guess. I was just gonna say I've been listening to the new Taylor Swift album, and I think it's really good.
Oh, yeah, Taylor Swift. You were saying that it's not the album that and then you wrote about it.
So I've been hearing people say like, oh, it was better when she was like not political, and it was better than when she was this and that, and it's like, she's like 30 years old. Like, why do you still want to listen to a music made by a 16-year-old? Like, what's wrong with you? These are grown men. It's like, let artists evolve.
Right.
Like, also, but the other thing I was gonna say is it's just a very like low key, like it feels like the kind of album that you would expect and like a artist who has country or pop country roots to make during a quarantine.
Sure.
That they're just like kind of
quarantine. Is it a recent project or has she been sitting on it for a while?
So her last album came out like late last year. This one just came out of nowhere. It just dropped. Like dropped all of a sudden, and people were like, oh, here's this thing. Yeah, it says it was written and recorded in isolation during COVID-19, supposedly. So I mean, you can't like go to shows, right? You can't go on tour.
Might as well record.
So
she's probably got all the equipment she needs at home. She's probably got a big old studio in one of her mansions somewhere or something. Yep. My what's new is I don't know if anyone's noticed or cares. Maybe they don't, and I've just been killing myself for no reason all these years and months. Is I've only published one demo this week, and it's Thursday. The last time I published a video was Friday, I think.
Wow.
Before the one that I published yesterday, I've just had a bunch of hiccups in my scheduling, and the videos I'm working on require multiple days of work to do it. And so I'm kind of stuck in limbo with a few of them. But today I did film a actual demo, not an unboxing like first impressions thing, but an actual demo of the 2 Notes Cab M. And
cool.
It was a difficult birth. There's a lot to unpack here, and I've just had to keep going back and revisiting the video and reshooting it to make sure I covered everything that it can do. But I'm pretty stoked on this thing. It's a Swiss Army knife for sure. And I wish that I could go and use it live at church, because this is quite the unit. It can easily replace, the Iridium or an HX Stomp as, an amp and cab sim sort of thing. And I like to get you like studio sounds. And it's got XLR out the side. Michael,
I know a lot of people love those.
Michael Krause says he's missed the videos this week, so someone noticed. Thank goodness. I haven't just been wasting my time. But yeah, they did an update on it. They did a version 5 update, and that introduced a preamp and a power amp, and that allows you to dial in some clean amp sounds with different tube models and whatnot. And so it can be a complete standalone sort of deal now, which I think is cool.
That sounds great. Are you going to use it on your board? What's your current? Oh, well, you use the Stomp, right?
Well, I've been using the Iridium for a while.
The Iridium, yeah.
And I like the Iridium because it's dead simple, and it's just like, oh, there's amp controls there, and yeah, I can have a preset, but I always just kind of like, oh, I'll just switch this as I want it. But the the 2 Notes thing, it doesn't even have foot switches. It's definitely built around just selecting your preset that you spent a lot of time working on, and making small tweaks here and there as you need it. It's meant to just sit there and do its job. It's not meant to be an interactive sort of pedal like the Iridium or even the HX Stomp, where there's foot switches and whatnot. I'm wondering if I'm starting to feel something. My head feels a little. No, my head feels like a little achy, but that's about it. I'm gonna stand up again.
This is riveting. All right. So if that's your what's new and my what's new, that means this is a part of the show where we talk about Chase Bliss Audio.
Damn. There they are. Chase Bliss Audio.
That's our sponsor for this week. Chase Bliss Audio. They make a bunch of great pedals, including one that Ryan is working on demoing sometime soon. The Automatone.
I think that'll be the next real demo I start working on. I've got a pile of them now because this is a time when NAMM would usually happen. The Automatone. It's just this ridiculous robotic masterpiece. These sliders will move on their own when it's powered up and I go through presets.
Yeah.
I've been watching videos from like Henning Pauly and other people who get these, who have all kinds of MIDI controllers and fancy little boxes, and they can like animate these to be constantly in motion, doing like ramping modulation and effects and stuff like that. I really doubt I'm gonna figure out a way to do that. I'm just gonna be your simple layman with this thing and scroll through presets and show off the sounds it can do. But man, it's pretty wild what you can do with these things.
I looked up Automatone, and unfortunately Google wants me to look at automatones.
Mm-hmm.
The little thing. I want to. If you can't figure that thing out, just send it over here.
No, I know I can figure it out. It's just I always feel self-conscious that I'm not, pushing Chase Bliss stuff to its full potential, because the potential ceiling on Chase Bliss pedals is ridiculously high, and I can't climb a ladder that high. So what I'm trying to say is,
you can do it, Ryan. Believe in yourself.
For pedals more creative than you are, with an analog brain and a digital heart, that's wrong. With an analog heart and a digital brain.
It's digital brain, analog heart.
There you go.
Company that makes pedals more creative than you are.
Chase Bliss Audio, thanks for sponsoring this show.
All right, this first topic was sent in by Jason Fuzzmonger. He says, what are your favorite colors that aren't on more guitars?
And we could do the inverse of this. What is your least favorite color that's on too many guitars?
So do you want to do favorite or least favorite first then?
Start with favorite. Let's start with the positive and then go very negative.
I would say for me, it's probably maybe orange.
You don't see enough orange guitars. It is kind of a rare color for a guitar.
I think there could be more orange. I see a lot of orange in like custom colors. Oh, there's a color. I would say the new Equits that the new Equits that Brian from the Tone Jerks just got. Have you seen that one?
I don't remember. What does it look like?
It's purple.
Okay.
But it's like
there's not enough purple guitars, that's for sure.
It's like light purple. It's like lavender.
Oh wow, like a violet?
Like lavender.
Lavender.
Like
emphasis on the lavender.
Yeah, it's like really light purple.
I'll have to look that up, I guess.
Yeah, it's really cool. I would say that's a color I would be down to see more of for sure. Because that's a color that like it's almost like that Joker purple.
Oh, okay, sure.
Like it's that really light purple. It's like a pastel.
Like a taffy. Like if taffy was purple, that's the color it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like Easter. Emily says it's like Easter.
It's like an Easter purple. Yeah, Easter guitar.
But I think that's like a color that like I could definitely see it on more guitars. It looks really cool on that one. What about you?
I just want to see a lot more metal flake. Like
the real thick.
Yeah, the heavy hot rod metal flake, like the Bass Boat metal flake. And in most colors. I want to see it in most colors. I don't want to see it in all colors. I feel like black metal flake is always a waste. Why did you?
The one that we butt heads on this before. I think I was at NAMM. There was a silver metal flake that some stand had, and silver metal flake to me is just like I'm like, what's the point of this? I don't get it.
Sometimes I like silver metal flake, but usually I prefer to go for a gold.
Yeah,
or any color really.
I really like that orangey copper metal flake that you did. I thought,
on the Strat?
Yeah.
Oh, I might have a few chips of it left around the garage.
Well, I don't want it. I'm just saying, like, I thought that was a really cool look.
Yeah, I want to do some more metal flake stuff. I did that 2K clear spray on the Strat refriend for the nail polish.
Yeah,
and that opens up a lot of possibilities to do much better metal flakes and much faster too, because it chemically hardens.
Oh, gotcha.
Instead of air drying. And you can sand it same day sometimes.
Oh, wow.
That's how fast it dries. It's wild. So yeah, I've got some plans for the future. It's expensive though. It's like $20 a can for that stuff. And it's super dangerous. It might kill me.
Is it like flammable or?
No, I think it's like cancer. Dangerous.
Oh, is it because of the cure? It's probably because of the fast curing.
Fast curing. It's a catalyst sort of situation.
Yeah, speaking of catalyst, we watched a video. It's not a catalyst, but we've been looking at refinishing our dinner table. So we watched a video of this guy of like how to refinish a dinner table, and the first thing he did was like dump a bucket of chemical stripper on the top of it, and Melissa was like, "Can we do this?" And I was like, right away I was like, no, we can't.
We can't do that.
It's like you need a garage and a ventilator or an outdoor space. Like as soon as you put that stuff on there, it's going to turn the top to rubber.
Yeah. But I want to see more experimenting with metal flakes, like bursts over metal flake.
Oh,
I want to see,
okay.
Like stenciled out patterns in metal flake and stuff like that. I want to see that happen more often because it's so stunning. I know it kind of like it flies in the face of, a lot of the trends there are these days are like stuff that will relic really easy. And so it's really thin skinned and you can't really do a metal flake that thin because you got to have a lot of clear to lock up all the glitter and stuff. So I feel like we're not seeing a lot of that, and it's probably way too flashy for most people. But I feel like if you're going to play electric guitar, you might as well be flashy, might as well be fun. when I was a kid and I would think about, if I was drawing with crayons, like someone playing electric guitar is always someone playing some sort of pointy, bright red monstrosity. You need them to be bright. That's like the primal thing with an electric guitar. So so now let's go over to the inverse.
Hold on real quick. You're familiar with the color British Racing Green?
Yes.
Here's what I want on your metal, going off your metal flake thing, is a fender offset British Racing Green with a silver metal flake racing stripes. Just a pair of metal flake stripes, on the butt end of the body, and then everything else British Racing Green.
Someone just added if he did 4 marijuanas. I just did the 1. I don't know how many. 4 sounds like too much. Steve and I both we went to the same dispensary today and got the same product and both partook just before pressing record. I feel fine. I don't know. I don't think I feel anything yet. And it's been a solid hour now. So I don't know. Maybe.
So anyway, what's your least favorite color, Ryan?
Okay. The inverse being, what colors do you want to see happen less on guitars? Like less frequently? Like my top votes right off the bat are black with a white pick guard and any kind of medium to dark blue, especially if there's some sort of flame or quilt involved or something like that. I don't want any blues darker than like a Sonic blue or like your shirt. I don't want any blues darker than your shirt right now.
This is like a teal shirt.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I don't want him to get any more blue than that.
I would say the bluest I'm down with is maybe like the classic Fender Lake Placid blue.
Like a misty metal flake. I don't even want that.
Oh, what I was gonna say is the color that like irks me is I think it's called midnight blue.
Yeah.
It's whatever the guitar, like I think it's that color is the one that I just associate heavily with I don't know if that's officially what this color is called, but it's this very like dark medium to slightly dark medium blue that was on every Fender Squire Bullet and Affinity Strat from like the late 90s, where it's like you'd have to play like 10 or 15 of them to find one good one. And when you'd find them in stores, they're just always covered in gunk because it was every 13-year-old's first guitar. They're just that's my easily my least favorite guitar color. Followed not too far behind by the color that your Mahar was supposed to be.
Oh, really?
That like weird, like it's just, I think it's those very medium colors that were kind of part of that early Fender like color catalog where it's just like white. Now I think Olympic white is interesting like later, like after a few years, but like,
I think Olympic white, it really depends on everything else around it. Like just a bright white on top of white is boring, but you put a mint green pickguard on Olympic white and it gets classy real quick. I think white is interesting because it is bright and it will pop on stage, which is what I like. That's why I don't like black, and blue just kind of gets boring and bland and lost to me.
Yeah.
Like it blends into the background like your blue jeans do. Like blue doesn't stick out the way people think it does. But yeah, I'm surprised I don't have a white guitar. I don't have a white guitar, right? I have a Harley Benton Mustang style thing that's white.
In white. Depending on I wonder how much of it is quality of finish and like you said, the parts around it, because again, like that Dakota red is another color I'm just like, I hate this color.
Right. I usually hate metallic red because that's another one of those ones that like, oh, every $300 guitar for 15 years came out in metallic red and metallic blue and then black.
Right.
For the 3 colors, just because they're the most popular or whatever. But I actually really like the metallic red finish on my Jaguar. And it might just because it's beat up.
Yeah.
It's an 80s poly finish, but it's got plenty of dings and wear on it, and it doesn't feel like the cheap version of that for whatever.
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
And it might just because it's a Jaguar and freaking red Jaguar.
Well, I really like that red. It's like that cola red or whatever.
Yeah.
I like that walnut thing right here. That base.
Oh yeah.
And I got another red guitar. Like, I'm not anti-medium reds. So I have the Fiesta red, and then the Telecaster that I have is very medium red. But I think the fact that it is kind of beat up and it's the front of it's a matted finish.
Anyone who's tuning into this just curious, be like, oh, what's a guitar podcast like? I don't like guitars, but what are guitar people talking about? And then they tune in and just, I don't really like this kind of blue. It seems kind of very boring compared to what people.
But it's like people,
guitar conversation.
For better or worse, people do talk about colors. They talk about
color.
The
most important options on the guitar, in my opinion. Like, I don't, when I ordered my Hallmark Swept-Wing, they were all out of gold sparkle,
right?
But they had silver sparkle. I'd been dreaming about this guitar for years. When I finally pulled the trigger, I was like, nah, I'll wait for the gold sparkle. I ended up waiting like 7 months for the gold sparkles to come back in. Yeah. And to me, it was worth it.
Yeah. No, it's that's a really cool looking guitar.
Yeah, well, I think so.
I just don't know. Colors.
Yeah, colors. Steve.
Every joke I want to make is just really awkward. I was going to go back to the idea that like guitar players, like if you go to like the classic groups, the one of the great in terms of notoriety jokes is I buy all of my guitars the same color so my wife can't tell the difference. So people do think about colors and designs and all kinds of other things.
A guitar is a stage prop as much as it is, a technical instrument. Yes, it is a technical instrument used to play technical parts and have a technical response as you play it. But it's supposed to be a stage prop too. It's supposed to match your look. If your look is colorful, if your look is a certain kind of color scheme, then yeah, it totally matters. You got to color coordinate to your spandex pants and your crimped out blonde bleached hair for your hair metal act. You can't just have like a random like boring blue guitar in your metal band.
Yeah,
you either playing black guitars in your metal band or playing neon pink. Like there's nothing in between.
It's true.
Yep.
Can you imagine if instead of red special, Brian May just played like the blue special or the neon green special,
or the brown special?
The brown special is that's that Eric Clapton tone.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that later.
Oh gosh, I forgot about that. All right, you got anything else on colors?
Green is another. I painted my Strat like margarita green. It looks a little gold in some videos, but it is definitely absolutely green. And there was that green guitar I fell in love with at NAMM from Diamond Guitars or whatever.
Yeah.
That metal foot green. I want more of those greens. Usually when you see green, it's the British racing green or into seafoams. You don't see a lot of just like candy apple green. And I want more of that. I want to do that. I want something candy apple metal flake, like big flake. So there's my piece on that.
All right. This next ad was sent by Daniel Esporma. It's a Carvin DBS 98B double neck bass guitar and guitar with Bigsby natural. So short scale bass, both bass and guitar have separate wiring circuits so you can plug each one into its own channel or separate amps. Very good original condition, weighs about 11.6 pounds.
What do you think of these? I've been on the lookout for vintage Carvins for a number of years now.
Do you think this is actually 70s? I actually would have thought this would be older.
I do, and I'm going to show you why in a second. We discovered a website that was like a back catalog of all the Carvins going back into like the 40s. That's how far back Carvin goes, I think. They're a San Diego bait. Well, they don't really exist that much right now. A little bit. They exist a little bit, but they've morphed into Kiesel.
Yeah.
Kiesel. They were in LA before they were in San Diego back in the day. They made instruments that looked like this, like really wonky, their own shape with, strangely, they decided to go for a Strat style headstock, but they would have really cool pickups and they'd have real deal Bigsby's on them. Here's a better shot of it. I'll zoom in on the headstock.
Yeah, I don't think I realized that the branding was on the headstock, which is why I thought it was older.
So how do I deselect? There we go. Here, look at the logo. That's not 60s. That's the 70s.
Yeah.
They were still, they're still making the style of guitars that they were known for at that point. I bet this was probably one of the last years that you saw something like this come from Carvin with that logo. I bet it morphed into more like the modified Strats and kind of like multi-stripe guitars and stuff like that.
Yeah. I'm looking at how much do they want for this?
Oh, that's a good question. I think it was like $2,000.
$2,000?
Yeah, $2,000.
Because it looks like these guitars were like $250 new.
Yeah. Well, you're probably looking at a catalog from 72, 71 or something like that.
Yeah. This is the double neck 12.6 was with Bigsby was $280 in 1972.
Yeah. So I got to play an older Carvin. They didn't actually, the one I played didn't even have this logo yet, so maybe it was older than this. It had the old metal stamp, like they would put this actual little metal plate that said Carvin.
Oh, cool.
For the headstock, but same headstock shape, but it was a Strat shape, but with the pickups that are in this thing. I forget what they're called. Some people really, really like these pickups and get like clones of them made.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think I can't remember the guy. Oh, Novak, Curtis Novak.
Oh, okay, yeah,
one of them. So it had these pickups, but then it had this Gretschy style bridge and the Bigsby, probably the exact same run of Bigsby that's on this thing. And I hate the mouse I'm using. I wish I had bought that guitar. It was at Freedom Guitars. Jason Lee from Jason Lee and the Riptides gave me a tip on it. It's like, oh, you got to go check out this Carvin that's at Freedom. And he told me something like, oh, if you offer them 500, they're going to take it, but they have it listed for like 700 right now. And I spent a lot of time looking at that guitar. The Bigsby on it was the best I've ever touched in my life. The pickup sounded really cool. I passed on it because it had a bunch of big dumb dings in it. And one of the things had like a screw broken off in it, which was bizarre. Like who screwed something into this guitar and then broke off the screw and left it in the body. So like really weird cosmetic things. But damn, if I could go back in time, I would have bought it for sure because it was such a cool playing guitar. And it had that original real deal Bigsby on it. It just had so much mojo. But man, these old Carvins, I just think they're so cool because they're different. They hadn't morphed into the 70s super Strat, high performance mail order catalog kit guitar. Yeah,
right. Everything looks like it's. I mean, even some of the ones in this catalog, it's obvious what they're nodding towards, but it's not. I think it gets. Once they get into the 80s, it's a lot more of direct.
The original Carvin guitars were very country-ish and very kind of. They were probably trying to cater to the Bakersfield sound and whatnot, and try to be another Mosrite,
Which I mean, being in LA, like that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. The site I think you were referencing earlier is carvinmuseum.com, which is I forgot about this site. I spent like a full week going through this site, I think back in the day.
Oh yeah. I found it. It's super cool. And there's shapes in there that I had never seen before. I've known people who work at Kiesel, and every time I talk to them, I'm like, man, you guys got to bring back some of these old shapes because there's some really fun ones in there.
Every once in a while, they do. I want to do something as a throwback.
Yeah, I'd be down if they had a throwback model that references one of these old funky guitars they used to make, especially if they could remake the pickups.
Yeah.
And just the whole vibe. I wish Kiesel would lean harder into a vintage take on things, but they have their audience, they have their market.
They're doing the super shiny thing.
They're going to keep doing flamey, genty stuff. That's fine. They've got to make stuff for the Steve Terryberries of the world.
You could there's no reason they couldn't go in both directions at once, but I think
right? I know.
They've kind of built this modern reputation of, insane. I remember, they were for a while they were like the go-to for insane quilt top guitars. But it's like I at that time I think they were like the premier. There's some other companies that I think kind of do it better now, but
yeah. I can hear your kids are having a great time, aren't they?
Yeah. Meltdown. Apparently, it's the meltdown time of night.
First, your Wi-Fi goes, and then your kids melt down.
I know. It's
Welcome
insane.
to podcasting life. I think
right.
I'm gonna, marijuana check-in. How are you feeling?
Normal.
You feel normal?
Yeah.
Well, you did half your dose later than me. I think I'm getting there. I think I'm experiencing this. Oh, I'll take down the ad here. I feel a little, I guess what I describe as buzzy. The headache has turned into more of like that throb. I have a desire to touch my face. I don't know, man. You guys tell me if you think I'm high, if I'm acting different. I just feel a little like buzzy when when you're a little tipsy, but it's a little different than from being drunk, I guess.
I don't know. I'm just waiting to go into full-blown paranoia.
Steve is going to be curled up in the corner by the end of this. I'm going to hit him all at once. All right, so man, let's do some stretches. Get ready.
I know.
Crack that back.
And because I recorded all day. I was working on recording for like a couple hours this morning. I'm coming into this with my back unhappy with my choices.
By recording, you mean
the set, my church set list this morning.
Oh, that's right. I thought you were using recording to describe a work thing. All right, we're talking about Santana Supernatural. This is our album.
Yeah, week. You picked this album.
I don't know why. It just popped in my head. It's like, what's like a thing we could cover that everyone knows? And this is like the first thing that popped in.
So what's interesting about it is my thought is that I only knew 2 songs off this album. Smooth, of course. And
Maria. Yeah. I don't think I'd ever heard any of the other songs at all, which is kind of crazy considering how huge this album was. I think those 2 songs just felt like that's all we needed. It scratched the itch we all had.
I mean, I think there was like 1 or 2 other singles off this album besides those 2. But I'm not sure if they really got any airplay. 1, 2, 3. They actually released like 6 singles off this album. And then their next album, I feel like only had I guess 2 singles off the next one, which was also like a lot of pop. The thing that was interesting to me about this album was, I don't know. I was listening to, once I got past the halfway mark on this album, all I could think was I'd rather be listening to the 1999 Grammy Award-winning hit Smooth by Santana featuring Rob Thomas of Matchbox 20 off the multi-platinum album Supernatural.
Yeah. Well, I was shocked. I was shocked that they had all of that hidden so deep in the album. Like, I was expecting that to be, when it wasn't first track, I was like, okay, all right, you hide your secret. When it wasn't second track, I was like, I'm shocked right now. I'm blown away that it is not the Selkit. Okay. not the second track on the album.
Use your words.
It just hit me.
I mean, it was they're the 5th and 7th tracks on this album. I really liked the first song. I've always, I guess, I've heard Santana reference to as like, oh, it's actually, it's always like, well, what the hell is this, right? Like, I don't, and I guess on the Wikipedia page for this album, it refers to it as Latin rock, but I've also, Latin rock. I know he gets thrown in like world music. I felt like listening to the full album meant that we're hearing more than the one style of guitar that Santana's famous for.
Did you hear more than one style in this album?
I thought there was more than one style. I was surprised, actually. Like, I don't, for some reason in my head, like, I don't think of Santana as like a wah guy. So every time there was wah, I was like,
okay,
cool.
So there's 2 confirmed styles in this album. There's regular poke Santana with a stick and he starts playing style, and then there's Santana has a wah pedal style.
I guess. Most of all, I think this album just made me think of being on an elevator for an hour. Like it really made me think I need to visit my dentist.
I think the thing I've been thinking about coming up to this album is not so much like the musical quality of it, or how big the songs were. Well, no, it is about how big the songs are. This album like feels like it was cooked up by a time traveler. It's just such the perfect connecting point between generations and trends and who was popular at the time. Like, this seems like it was grown in a lab. It's so perfect for that moment, like connecting the still middle-aged, not quite senior citizen boomers still grasping for anything to enjoy in popular culture through the 90s.
Yeah. And
they get hit with a nostalgia case like Santana.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of it, you throw in a bunch of contemporary of the time musicians like Everlast.
Right. That one was one where like I was like, there's a couple Everlast and the Eagle Eye Cherry, those 2 tracks. I was like, these play to the strengths of their they play to the strengths of their the genre of that those singers fit in.
Right. You didn't let me finish my point. The third thing that made this huge.
How many things?
It hit like right in peak, like everyone loves Latin stuff, like Latin American stuff. Like you got your Ricky Martins, your what was the other guy with the mole?
Oh, Julio Iglesias.
Yeah, but you had a lot of that going on in culture, and then this hits at the same time, bridging together. I found it. I come back around, bridging together this classic rock boomer mentality with current artists that can make it onto the radio, onto a variety of stations, by the way, because this can go on alt rock. This can go this can go on hip hop stations with some of the more, kind of hip hop sounding and funky sounding tracks. It traveled, and it was huge. This album was ridiculously huge. Like you were younger than me. I remember this album. I mean, it's not it is not lost on me. Right. I just think it's interesting, like how perfectly it hit. Like if it had been off like a year, it wouldn't have hit the way that it did. Right. Right in that perfect sweet spot. Well, that was also his first album in like 7 years. Sure. Not that. Well, he actually put out a lot of albums, I guess, before that. And it's kind of set the tone for like the next, for like pretty much everything he's been known for since then is like these really solid. Well, I don't know if I'd say solid. I'll take that one back. I think that album, Supernatural, and the one after it,
really caught a lot of artists while they were, like you said, like while they were in their own moments.
Right.
I think once you get past that, not so much.
Yeah.
Not so much.
Yeah. I didn't spend a lot of time thinking about Santana before listening to this. I've never listened to a full Santana album, but I was familiar with his radio hits before Supernatural as well.
Right.
I was familiar with, the classics and whatnot, but I never really sat and thought about him as a player. And listening through this album, besides a couple earworm licks and really the 2 hit singles, all his playing just kind of sounds the same to me. And in a couple instances, it sounded really out of place. Like the song wasn't working. Like, okay, the Everlast song didn't make any damn sense.
No, it didn't.
3/4 of the way through, and then all of a sudden it shifted gears, and like, oh well, now they found a Santana tempo that he can work with.
Right.
Because up to that, it just like, what is this? How did they put this on the album listing before Rob Thomas? I mean, Rob Thomas is going to take this all the way, boys.
Album song selection isn't just like, let's put the best ones first and the worst ones last. That's not how that works.
Right. And okay, what were you going to say?
I don't know. I forgot. You took so freaking long, man.
What is your least favorite track?
The Eric Clapton track.
Yes.
I think.
Oh my gosh!
I mean, it was just kind of
bad.
It just seemed pointless.
No, it's just bad, and like it really leans into the thing I don't like about Clapton, which makes it extra bad for me, is that gross, like slow, slimy, like sound that cocaine lovers love.
Right, and I think that was part of my problem with that track. Is it's like, one, it's featuring Eric Clapton, and it doesn't help that I just don't have the best like reference of like Clapton riffs, like what he is or isn't really known for. But so I'm listening to this thing, and I think because it does that, like you said, that slow, lazy, whatever kind of sound, it kind of brings you back to like what's the point of this? It's like it's like you had Santana and then Eric Clapton trying to do his best Santana, which, like his best Bob Marley, just really wasn't that great.
Right. I mean,
that's what I was going to say earlier. You said that you felt like sometimes his playing was forced and it didn't really fit the feel of the song.
It sounded like they just let Santana play in various signatures to like a click track, and they're like, "Oh, we'll just chop this up and throw it into something."
Yeah. And I know that you're an expert in this because I was in a band with you for 4 or 5 years. That was the joke I wanted to make 5 minutes ago.
I was having the thought, like, seeing how Santana plays across an entire album. It's like, he's fun to listen to a song at a time, but across an entire album, I'm like, I have a lot in common with Carlos Santana in that he's locked in his body. He can't get out of the thing he does, and that's me. And if I practiced enough and got into the pocket that he's stuck in, I would be playing like Carlos Santana. Like, it was a little shocking to me because he's someone just gets thrown around just like, oh, Santana. I think, here's my theory, and this is a lot like my Green Day theory, where it's like the star of Green Day is really the bass instrumentally.
Yeah. Damn straight.
The star of any Santana track is not really his guitar. And I know he has something to do. I know he's a percussionist as well. It's the rhythm and the vibe, and that's the soul of it. That's what makes all Santana songs that are good. And that's why that Everlast song wasn't working until it got to the end. It's that like Latin gallop that he's got to it, that like Tijuana feel. He's from Tijuana. That's not like a stereotype.
Oh, okay. I was like, is that a thing?
I saw your face and was like, that hit wrong. But it's the vibe of the song that's the star, and as I was listening through the album, like you could take out probably 2/3 of this guitar in the mix, and the song would not be any different to most people's memories, because the thing that they're vibing with is not, these boxed licks every 15 seconds. In between every vocal rest, another Santana-ism.
Yeah, I think, I mean, that's kind of what I expected going in, was lots of Santana riffs. And so from
be more like, oh, here's a bunch of riffs that are more custom to a wildly different style song than I
right.
But with My Flavor, it didn't do that. It was, here's some songs and Santana played over them.
Yeah. That's why it made so much sense when DJ Khaled sampled Maria for his track on with Rihanna. It made so much sense because DJ Khaled's always like, his catchphrase is another one. And what does Santana provide? They're like, Carlos, play a riff, and he's like, another one, and then he's playing the riff. Right.
No, it's the thing I tell my worship band. When I'm playing with them, I'm just like, when you want me to start, poke me with the stick. When you want me to stop, hit me with it twice. It feels like something like Santana. I mean, it'd be. I don't want to sound like I'm fully dissing on Santana. Like this is like an act where if Santana was playing at the county fair and I look at the schedule, it's like, oh, Santana's playing here in 5 hours. Man, I'm already pretty tired, but I might try to stretch this day out to make it.
Yeah. I don't think you're going to be able to see Santana for free at the county fair.
I know. Before this album, you probably could have.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I'm sure he was county fair level before this dropped. And that's not a huge diss. There's a lot of big acts that are playing county fairs that are making a living. I'm not saying he wasn't making a living.
Yeah. Well, see, there's two different kinds of county fair. Was it free county fair or was it paid county fair?
You mean paid to watch the musical act or paid to get in the fair?
Paid to watch the musical act.
Oh, okay. I see. Yeah. No, I think that's a distinction more at our fair because our fairgrounds are at a racetrack where they like a venue as well.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. So it has venue facilities. It's not just, a tent land set up somewhere. How are we talking about county fairs now? Oh, yeah.
Because you said Santana was probably a county fair band.
But that would be an awesome time. I mean, like I said, the vibe of the songs, the full band is really the star. The percussion, the rhythm section, it's just a treat. Like the songs are a treat. I can't deny that. It's just I was a little taken back by realizing the truths of Santana as a guitarist.
Yeah, I don't know if I thought you knew that, but
he's a pop guitarist.
Sure,
he's not a guitar. It's interesting because he doesn't really seem like a guitarist. Like usually guitarist stars have a little bit more range to them, I guess. It's gonna sound like I'm complimenting Joe Bonamassa, but I have to. I'd say that Joe Bonamassa has much better range as a musician across what he can play. I mean, I don't like it. I think I like Santana better because it's more simple and more actual, music I'd actually listen to.
Yeah, I mean, it's not awful,
right? I was dancing.
It doesn't require a dumble, just a PRS.
But I feel like Joe covers a wider skill set. Santana's like Santana's Chuck Berry, and not enough people are saying it. He's 70s Chuck Berry.
I mean, hopefully he's not, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm not saying that yet that he pees on people. So who should listen to this?
Obviously nostalgia people. I think I would say people who want a soft entry into like pop music that is going to be both familiar to them, but also not just be straight ahead, pop rock.
Right.
where there's a lot more. There's definitely like a lot of not even non-Western influences, just like non-white people.
Sure.
Like it's not. I guess maybe the word I'm looking. What's that?
It's diverse.
Yeah. Well, I think I was gonna say maybe the word I'm looking for is it's not like blues derived.
Right. Sure. What was your favorite track on it? One that you didn't know. You can't pick the two top. You have to pick like a track you didn't know it existed. Which was your favorite out of those?
I'm gonna have to find the freaking album again. I closed all my windows.
Oh, you didn't like anything enough just to remember it? Like I liked the Lauryn Hill one a lot.
I did like I'm trying to like not describe just let me describe the song to you.
Oh.
The Eagle Eye but doing that, like the Eagle Eye Cherry one I thought was cool.
I didn't like that.
I went back and forth on the Lauryn Hill one.
Again, I liked the vibe of it. It's like bringing in the vibe of the band, and that song had a different feel to it compared to the.
I think
it's good, and I think it had the least amount of Santana playing on it too.
I was gonna say, there's a track 11, El Farol, I think it's called. I really like that song. The song that I didn't hate as much as I wanted to was the Dave Matthews track.
Oh, that was not a good start for me. I was like, ooh, this is a lot of things I don't like. I like some Dave Matthews, but not this version of Dave Matthews, and not this kind of song. Like it actually was a good bookend on the Clapton song, where it had this icky feeling to me that I didn't like. So
yeah, I don't know. Whatever.
I liked that Dave Matthews stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I was into like Dave Matthews when I was 12.
We all were. It's required, and some people just don't grow out of it.
Yeah.
You know? All right. We don't have a second sponsor.
No, but what we do have is Housekeeping.
Well, I wanted to say real quick,
Mm-hmm.
If you're listening and you're a brand, and you think you would connect with our audience, click the email in the description of the episode. Is all I'm saying. Hit us up. Let's talk marketing. You know.
Yeah. We'll cut you a deal. But anyway, this week's Patreon patron joiner, who I need to find on Facebook, or he can find me on Facebook, whatever, is Jason Trowbridge at the $10 level, which is the Inner Circle, which is why he needs to find one of us on Facebook so we can get him into the Inner Circle group. Join
the club. The water's great. Jump on in.
Yeah. But whether it's $10 or $1, or you just send us a song for the end of the end of the audio version of the show. We appreciate everyone who tunes in, who jumps on the group chat, whatever, sends Ryan messages about how he needs to eat Ben & Jerry's. So go check it out. Patreon.com/60cycle humcast.
Yes. Last ad?
Ad. This was sent by Gavin Mullet. This is a Stratelee.
This is Italian, Steve. Stratelee.
Oh, is that how you're?
Stratelee.
For sale is a custom put together parts caster Stratelee.
There you go. You did it. Thank you.
A Stratelee mix in pink color. This is also like my least favorite shade of pink on guitar.
Well, it's the shade of pink that I can't get because it's the same color as me. I'm naked.
This is Fender MIM pickups 3-way switch with a balance control to use bridge or center pickup. Very cool sound. Guitar shows some nicks and scratches. No case. They want $475 for this.
I think the price is wrong. But
the price is wrong, Bob.
I think it's correct for the amount of trouble that they went into. But I guess someone will buy it. Someone might buy this at $450. There's always a weirdo out there. They'll see this and be like, yeah, I'm all over it.
Well, here's the problem I have with what you're saying right now. I don't think this is worth the work that they probably put into it.
No, I don't think so either. I don't think it's going to feel like a good guitar just based on kind of visual clues, I guess.
Yeah. You mean like the fact that this was probably a Squire Telecaster neck? It's just like, that's the thing. This is a Squire neck smashed onto probably God, did they make a Squires in this color pink?
This might be some sort of weird aftermarket body.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't look like a home spray.
Otherwise, they took the rest of the parts off of like either an MIM or Squire Telecaster and just smashed it onto a honestly, this requires, I'm looking at the way a lot of these parts are set up. This requires barely any work to do. I'm going to make that statement.
They had to cut out the spot for the Telecaster bridge plate.
Yeah, on the pick guard.
I'm pretty sure the control plate modification is just screwed onto the top. They didn't route out the pick guard to fit that. There's no way. They don't do
right. So okay, so they put the pick, they figured out where on the body the bridge was. They cut a square on a pick guard and got a really sharp knife.
Right. You know,
and these are all, and like I said, they says, oh, they're Mexican pickups. Okay, whatever. Almost, I think all of the other parts on this guitar are Squire.
Yeah, probably. But I was thinking about this wrong. I was thinking that they were blocking off a Strat trim route with this, and they must have had to do extra work. But no, I remember you have a shot of the back. It's string through.
Yeah, so they probably bought actually that might even make it more complicated than I was thinking it would have been.
I know. I think this is some sort of, Warmoth build body, but I think you might be right on the neck because it's got a Squire vibe to it. I can't define why.
Why? Look at the headstock. That's why. There's no walnut.
But but it still could be a kit neck though.
And it's sanded. There was a brand there. So there was stuff sanded off of the headstock of this.
All right, I'm going to trust your instinct. It's Squire. That's definitely a Squire neck. I mean, there's some of its parts. It doesn't. It probably adds up close to 450 after them tracking down parts that they didn't have.
What parts? The body. That's it. Maybe
no, because if they started with a Strat, is what I'm saying. But they didn't. They started with all kinds of parts. I wonder how they managed the neck connection. If they must have modified the pick guard, because Telly to Strat heel doesn't always work. The color of the body, it's got to be something other than a production guitar. It's got to be some sort of custom order.
You really think so?
Yeah. Because I'm looking at the cut on the pick guard and like I'd make a cut about that. And there's no way I could pull off a smooth finish like that. So these people are definitely not competent to do this smooth finish. What I'm saying is my claim, is my deduction.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. The price is debatable. I think there's a weirdo out there that would pay $450 for this.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a weirdo who will do that. I will not disagree.
My question though, the concept I thought for this.
Mm-hmm.
The discussion.
Okay.
Did they put the best of the Telly in the Strat, or did they put the best of the Strat in the Telly? Like what's winning here?
You're assuming there's another guitar.
No, I'm saying like in the concept. I'm saying in the concept of this guitar, is it a better Telecaster or is it a better Strat? Like with the parts coming over, like which side of the DNA is winning in this?
Maybe not in parts quality, but certainly in percentage of DNA, I think the Telecaster is winning. There's only 3 Strat parts, 3 3/4 Strat parts in this guitar.
The middle pickup, the pick guard, the body, the output jack.
Yep.
Okay.
Bingo, bango.
Right.
That's it.
Basically,
so it's definitely the Telecaster because you got a Telecaster control plate, Telecaster bridge, Telecaster neck pickup, and a Telecaster neck.
It's a Telecaster. I don't care what the body shape is. This is a Telecaster now.
Yeah.
We just changed it. What would it need to be more stratty? Yeah, I need the trim. You do the Telecaster. You do the Nashville Tele pickup loadout with a fender. I mean, with a Strat trim, and now you're pushing it more into even territory.
I would say you put this more into even territory just by not dropping the Telecaster control plate in. There's no reason, like, that's a purely aesthetic choice, because it's not like, oh, what is this? It's a 3 pickup system, just like, I don't know, a Stratocaster.
Right. Also,
like, there's nothing gained there.
I see what they were trying to do, and they did it ugly, and I'm not a fan of how they did it.
What, the output or the controls?
Yeah, the control plate. It's a Tele control plate mounted over a Strat plate, and it touches the sides in a couple of areas, and it just doesn't line up with the shape at all, because it's a perfect, like rounded rectangle on top of a squished psychedelic shape.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't cut out a space for it. It's just floating on top of it. It's just sloppy looking.
Yeah.
I see what they were trying to do, but they didn't do it.
If anything, trying to figure out how to make it better, but I don't want to think that hard.
Right. We did it. We nailed it. What do you think the price should be for you to be interested? Not for anyone else, not for the freaks of the world who see this and drool over it. I'm talking for you personally. You see this pop up on Craigslist, and what's your I'll go get it price?
200.
Yeah, I was thinking like 150, 175, because unless they can be like, show me a picture of the neck stamp and it's a decent build of the body and the neck.
Right.
There's not enough information to go on here, unless there's clearly $400 worth of pickups in this. Certainly,
there's not. These are Mexican pickups.
No, yeah. So that's my take. You went higher than me. I might have gone way too low for my current condition. You want to check in with your high report, Steve? How are you feeling?
I'm fine.
You're fine.
I'm fine. Everything's fine.
It hit me pretty good. Probably like 10 or 15 minutes back, and I put up a little scrolling thing down below saying, yes, Ryan is high right now. Okay. Yeah. I just looked at my eyes. Yes, I am high right now.
All right. Well, you want to get out of this part of the program then?
Yeah. Let's talk about the song.
Yeah. For you folks listening on your podcatchers, this song was sent by Ian Ferguson, and it's called Murrica. And he says this one's about Don McLean.
Cool. Well, enjoy it, everyone.
Yep.
And podcast land, all you YouTubers.
Stay grounded.
Stay grounded and hang out. I finished recording. I'm sure you did too.
Oh, nope. Haven't done that yet.
All right. I'm going to drop the Hangout link into the comment section. I'm having an experience over here. I'm feeling this thing. I wondered if I missed it when I had the other brownie years back. And no, I didn't miss it. It just didn't happen that time.
Maybe you just slept through it.
Maybe.
Wasn't it that night?
I was sitting here and I felt like a tingling rush, like form on my forehead. Oh, sorry. I clicked her in. I clicked her out. Hey, Emily.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Oh, someone else has joined. Oh, Robert.
Oh, hey,
Robert. Howdy, y'all. How you doing?
I'm hanging in there.
Yeah, you are. It was the eyes that showed first, Ryan.
I think I missed that transition because people kept commenting like, "Oh, watch his eyes," and I'd look at the screen like, that's how I always look. And then just now,
it was the blinking. The blinking started to be real slow, and that was probably the first giveaway.
And you had that look that people get when they're like trying to hide that they're high, like the smile starts at the corner of the mouth. Like
the thing is, I'm typically jolly anyways. I don't feel like I'm more jolly now.
It's different. It's just a different vibe.
I feel more. It's almost like a dental high, like coming off of some sort of numbing agent or something. I've got like a tingling all over. It started as like a tingling building up in my forehead, and I was like, "Oh, that's very interesting." It was very pronounced there for a moment, and then it just kind of dissipated, and now I'm just kind of tingly all over.
I've never seen a video with you getting up, jumping up and down for a little bit.
Yeah, you got to go on E-Bombs World for those.
So did you smoke or did you eat something?
I brought up E-Bombs World. I must be high. Steve and I both went to the dispensary today, and it was like drive up, like COVID pickup, and we both got the same thing. I took a brownie. Man, it was 2 hours ago, wasn't it?
Just about,
around 8 o'clock. And
how much THC is in each brownie? Is it 10 or 5?
They're 10.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's why it only took a half an hour, right?
No, it didn't take half an hour. It took an hour and a half for it to really hit.
Well,
no, it didn't.
Well, I wasn't feeling different. Wasn't feeling any different at all, but I'm definitely feeling different right now. So I get it. I get why people like this. I haven't tried to do anything other than podcasting yet, so maybe the rest of my life will be difficult after this. But no, I get it.
Sleep well tonight.
It'll be total reefer madness.
Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm having reefer madness. Whatever that is.
I remember Cincinnati, there used to be this graffiti for like years. There was graffiti on one of the walls of the interstate. It said reefer madness. It took them like 10 years to cover it up.
So real quick in the chat, Nissan 570 LSX says that his inner circle welcome pack never showed up.
What?
I sent out like $100 and something dollars of packages last week. So
it's in there.
So everyone except for Jason Trowbridge should be getting something. Whenever
Trowbridge.
Whenever they they start
anything.
funding the postal service again.
Oh.
So never.
Well, have you heard? You've heard about what's going on right now?
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah, the Postmaster General basically trying to intentionally screw up the U.S. Postal Service.
What?
Why?
He says it's going to be better in the long run, but basically they've banned overtime.
Oh.
But the problem is like I read an interview with a postal worker, and he was saying the problem with this is like the normal the way postal service usually goes is you just work until your truck is empty.
Right.
And the goal is, okay, if you do 12 hours, and then like 8 hours, like you just take it where you get it. The problem is now that they've banned overtime, now you have 12 hours, but you only do 8 hours. So you carry that over to the next day. Now you have 16 hours of deliveries and you only do 8 of them. So the next day you still carry over all 8. And so until you have a day where you have less than 8 hours of work,
you're behind.
Then you're always behind. And so
They've
now
just stopped delivering to some streets in Seattle.
Oh yeah. That's crazy.
Completely. Some streets completely no more post office for you.
Yeah. Somebody was saying how like what's the point of paying the premium price for a priority right now? Because apparently priority deliveries are taking like a week.
Yeah, well, I was supposed to get the Hostawa like from Flower Petals like a week ago, and it was just sitting in California for 5 days.
Weird. Yeah. It's I don't know. I don't get a lot of mail anyway, and when I do, I forget that I bought it. Then so when it shows up, I go, oh, I got a thing.
It's so exciting. It's like Christmas all the time.
Yeah. So otherwise, it just doesn't make sense to me now with the whole like everybody's gonna get COVID if we have in-person elections, and doing it on the mail sucks or whatever. So maybe we just won't have an election until 2023.
Well, we've had mail-in voting in Washington State for the longest time, and it's great. And you don't just mail. You don't have to rely on the post office here. You could just like take it to a library or a drop box at a grocery store.
Yeah, that's what we do. Yeah.
All I just
great.
heard was liberals are constantly winning seats in Washington because all their votes are frauds.
You mean all of our voters are enfranchised?
No, it's all a big hoax. How did 96 million people vote in the state of Washington when only 12 million people live there? It's because every person who's ever died in the state of Washington is still on the voter books and still gets to vote, even though they died before the state was even established in 1847.
Steve should be podcasting from a truck right now.
Yeah, I know. You should definitely be doing this video in your pickup truck while your wife is in the Target.
I have a friend on Facebook who
I was off. Washington was admitted as a state in 1889.
You guys, I have a friend on Facebook. That's the end of my story.
Ryan has a friend.
You can have up to 500 friends on Facebook or something.
Oh,
No, the
Wait,
first one
what?
was
You have a
Ryan.
friend on Facebook that what?
never mind. Oh, Sassy Cat is here. Hey,
Hey, Sassy.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
just hanging
My
out.
sister-in-law actually blocked me on Facebook when I commented on her anti-mail-in voting post that mail-in voting is awesome. Blocked.
What?
Yeah, that sent her over the edge.
Okay, I wait. I'm confused. Are we for or are we against mail-in voting?
I'm
Oh, I
for it.
am,
love
like-
it.
I think it's outrageous that there's not female in voting.
There was a gay bar in the neighborhood I grew up in called the no, I'm sorry, it was Golden Line. It was an ex-boyfriend who knew of a gay bar called the Mailbox.
It's all about the emphasis on the syllables there. There's either mailbox or there's the mailbox. Really?
Is there a mailbox?
Oh.
That's one of the entendres. There's a couple entendres there. That's how high I am right now. I said entendres and I think I nailed it.
Some men have boxes.
I'm not disagreeing.
What you gonna do with all that junk inside your trunk?
Wow, Ryan is high.
You need a,
Yeah, he'll laugh at anything right now.
Is this your first time being high,
you know what?
Ryan?
Try. You know what? Try to make me laugh right now. See if you can do it. Is it my first time getting high? Yes.
Would you do it again?
First time.
Yeah. Well, I've got 9 more.
Yeah, but you don't have to use them if you don't like
Oh, I
them.
guess you just made me laugh.
Shotgun
I was
'em.
surprised I didn't see Grant in the chat at all, and he was the one that instigated all this.
Aw.
I know. I sent him the screen grab of the cover, so he knew it was happening.
Yeah, he asked me what time it was at too.
I texted him.
It's the same time every month or every Thursday, right? So
That's sweet,
Yeah.
yeah.
I texted him a picture of Steve and I with the bag from the store. I actually think someone's signal is making a clicking noise. A click. Clack.
Yeah, I hear it.
It's over now. So where was I?
You had a friend on Facebook.
Shut up.
One whole friend.
Completely forgot what I was
Dude, I have a
about.
guest in your house. Jeez. Wow. Everyone
I
heard
tell
that,
you-
right?
yeah.
I'm completely derailed now, guys. I'm sorry.
I liked your video earlier this week on the Grope guitar.
Oh yeah.
am-
My
I
video this
am that close to pull a trigger on it.
I hate to tell. I got a message while we were doing this from YouTube that someone commented that they're not on Amazon now.
Really?
So I
Yes,
might
they
have-
were. Last night they were.
No, he said right now.
Oh.
Came in tonight. So
Steve is researching it right now.
I mean, there are some groats on.
typing away.
But
Because there was a
it.
purple one with 2 humbuckers on it that I saw last night. That was $199, and then I saw the red one for $179.
Well, the purple one is like an ES335 style. The one is the sound Steve typing?
No,
I think so.
Oh, look who's
I'm not
here.
typing.
Grant's here.
Ah, now he shows up afterwards. You didn't get to see all the funny stuff.
Thanks
Well,
for
you know why? Because I
Why?
slept through basically the whole episode. Sorry about that.
I was talking about. I was going to say Grant has a sporadic sleep schedule or a sleep schedule that I don't fully understand, and so I was going to say you might be sleeping, which is fine. You know, I'm like, you should sleep. I wish you could sleep. Right?
I started working at 5 a.m. today, so I didn't quite make it all throughout. So
Did you get a new cat?
we got a little girl cat.
What's her name?
Her name is
Forgot.
Allie.
Allie. And she's a
We
black
did not name
cat?
her. That was her name. So
Oh, wow.
this is her third time. This is her third home.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
she's a little scared of people. Doesn't trust anyone, but
Sounds like my girl. She'll warm
she's
up.
sweet. Yeah.
I think she looks a little like you. Is that weird?
we have big crazy eyes. Her one eye is a little crooked like mine is.
Oh.
I was gonna say she has big eyes like you do.
Yeah, big goofy eyes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Where'd you get her?
So how are you guys feeling? Because I totally have no idea.
I got high. I am high now. Steve has not.
I feel fine.
Take another.
I think what it is it's like we're just going in opposite directions. Like I feel like I maybe might be a little more on. I feel like 4 cups of coffee right now.
Ryan, did you have anything like any alcohol today? Because that can like increase the effect.
There's an energizing element for some people with this, I suppose.
Like 4 cups of coffee is like a stress level.
Yeah.
It's not a energy level, it's a stress
Not an
level.
enjoyable experience.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm feeling I'd compare it to being drunk. It's like a drunk feeling.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's just because I haven't stood up.
Maybe stand up, do a jumping jack. I don't know.
That's the only thing that I actually remember from was you standing up and jumping and laughing, and then I fell asleep.
Yeah.
Oh, you fucking good joke, huh?
Yeah, he did that twice, I think.
I'd like to do a video of that and watch it.
Oh, I like those dancing skills, Steve.
No, I feel fine.
I need to write something down. I just had a.
Yeah, we noticed it in Ryan's eyes first. He started to blink real slowly. I think that was the first indications. And no, Steve, yeah, you're doing okay.
Steve is Steve.
Yeah.
Spencer's calling me out for not doing a jumping jack. It's because it's 10 p.m. and I'm on the second floor of a 2-story building. And my kids, I think, are going to bed right now. So no one in this building wants to hear a 200 and whatever 15-pound man doing jumping jacks.
Eating brownies, jumping around the house like a crazy person.
If you just do it for a little bit, they'll be like, "The hell was that?" And then they'll never learn about it again.
Yeah.
So I just
Honey, it was an earthquake just now.
Yeah, haven't you all been getting earthquakes and aftershocks?
just now.
No,
I haven't.
Yesterday?
I didn't feel anything.
yesterday. Mm.
I feel like I read about.
I thought Chrissy Teigen was posting about it.
Oh, there was a 4.2 in Los Angeles yesterday.
Yeah, Sonic Pickups wrote about it, I think, on his story.
And there have been a bunch of like aftershocks in basically all in the same area.
I didn't feel anything because I've just been blasting my guitar too loud. It already shakes the house.
Well, it's because we're down here.
If the house is a rockin',
The whole house is rocking.
Then there's
the
probably an
trailers- the
earthquake.
trailers are rockin'.
It might be an earthquake.
I think that was an old Cheap Trick song.
That's the California version of Jeff Foxworthy. Instead of "You might be a redneck," it might be an earthquake.
No, you might be an earthquake. It's my joke for some reason that doesn't make sense.
Housequake.
It's a housequake. It's the great earth shake.
No.
Yeah, you want to get the great earth shake.
Ryan, people want to know if you want to listen to Sublime now.
The first
no, don't do it. Don't do it.
In the comments section, the first person in the comment section to say what I'm referencing when I say the great earth shake, I'll make them a moderator.
The great earth shake?
Do the same for Housequake.
Off to Google they go.
Yeah, I think
I do not want to listen to Sublime now or
ever.
Don't ever do it.
Yeah.
Animal abuse. No.
Yeah, well, besides just awful music. Yeah.
I like when he says, like, I can play this guitar like a motherfucker, and then gives like the most bland
My shirt came.
I've ever heard in my life.
Your what?
I just remembered. My shirt came.
Go get your shirt.
Thank you guys.
Go get it.
My mayonnaise shirt.
Go get it.
You bought one?
Well, I gave it to him. I ordered it for him.
Nice.
It's downstairs. Do I have to go get it?
Go get it. Go get it. You got to change it.
Okay.
Get it.
Change.
It's not
Okay.
a pot. It's not one of yours.
Both of mine came in this week too. I got this.
Let me slide. I'm self-conscious about I'm self-conscious about what my office looks like, but I'll be right back.
Tell Karen hi.
Here.
Yeah,
Well,
I got this one and the tuner time.
Oh, fun! I need to get myself a tuner time shirt. I haven't ordered my own yet.
No, I don't.
Didn't they send one to you?
Most of the merch of anything
No, I ordered it.
Because
I got the 60 cycle home.
Oh, you got the other.
I'm saying the
logo.
So because we do this through Teespring,
I'm gonna start muting.
Right.
When we make the shirts, Ryan just submits the design and they just print it on demand.
Aha.
I don't make enough sandwiches to justify owning mayonnaise. Steve Rowd, 2020.
I've explained this to like several people, and nobody understands why it was so important for me in that moment that should be a T-shirt, and why it was so funny.
You know what? In my current state right now, it makes so much sense.
And the way he said it was so like completely like not. Like he did not think that was a weird statement to make. So
it's an obvious statement, guys.
Was that the only time you use mayonnaise? Do you make tuna salad?
Nope.
It's a defining thing. You are.
Potato salad?
There are only two types of people. The type of people who make enough sandwiches to justify owning mayonnaise, and the kind of people who don't make enough sandwiches to justify owning mayonnaise. That's the split in our society.
What do you don't often think about sandwiches to make them grill better?
You're in one of those camps, but you never really identify yourself as being in one of those camps publicly.
Butter has too low of a burning temperature. That's why the mayonnaise is better. You burn the butter a lot faster.
Cooking too high.
Mine come out crispy. I used to make grilled cheese, and when I had a George Foreman grill, you just put it in there and go. Wait 5 minutes.
Too high YouTube ID.
Right too high.
The other thing is that you always think about people that they get too stoned and then they eat like ridiculous foods. You know, they just like eat everything in the fridge.
Yeah.
So if you eat a mayonnaise sandwich tonight, please film that. Please.
Can we not shit on mayonnaise sandwiches?
It won't be me because I don't have any mayonnaise.
My wife and I were discussing the other day that we think someone left mayonnaise at our house because there's a jar of mayonnaise and we would never buy that. We both agreed, like, I'd never buy a jar of mayonnaise. We don't use it enough. And we're like, yeah, the squeeze kind, because we keep it for guests or whatever, but we don't need very much. And we don't want to stick our freaking whole fist in a giant jar of mayonnaise to get a scoop of it.
Did one of you maybe like make a cake with a different recipe that required mayonnaise? Because that is
Well,
a thing.
no. Here's the thing: it's not even just because I have a family banana bread recipe that uses mayonnaise. It's crazy that we're talking about mayonnaise again.
We covered this on the mayonnaise episode.
I screwed it up. I'm
The
sorry.
mayonnaise
3 weeks ago, 2 weeks
after
ago.
show brought to you
Yes.
by Dukes and Hellman's.
But when recipe, I go to the store to specifically buy just a squeeze tube of mayonnaise because it has almost exactly the amount of for 2 recipes of it,
2 loaves of bread.
Yeah. It's like a cup and a half of mayonnaise in this thing. It's a lot of mayonnaise.
Have you ever seen when people put baking soda in tea?
No.
What?
I've heard of that, but
Yeah.
I have
No.
heard of that recently. Was it from you?
I've seen people doing it in videos, and I've never experienced it myself, but it seems like a weird thing to do. Kind of like the banana bread thing. So,
Well, the banana
it
bread
just makes
works.
it more moist, and sour cream kind of has the same effect. It's a
What's that?
moistener.
Yeah, but what does the baking soda do for the tea?
I
That's
have
a great
no
question.
idea.
It makes it fluff up when you cook it.
No, that's when you put yeast in your tea.
Well, there's yeast, there's baking soda, there's baking powder. They kind of all live in the same neighborhood.
I think
It
baking
might be,
soda.
it's like
has
they put
powder
like a
in
pinch
it.
of it in there, so it might do nothing. It might just be for some you have
Maybe
to put that in
maybe
there.
it takes some of the
I'm
bitterness.
reading
Coffee.
I'm reading about it. Some kind of sweet tea. It's specifically a sweet tea thing.
Yeah, it's like a southern
right,
like sweet tea. They put it in.
tea.
Yeah,
No. Southerners were shitting on that. I did see that earlier on the Twitter.
Hmm.
Also, people
Appar-
had no idea how to make sweet tea.
Apparently, some of it's so. This is confusing too because it's saying baking soda counteracts acidity, and apparently, some people say it will make it clearer. But then it says there are other ways to keep your tea from being bitter and cloudy. The first is don't let the water completely boil, and then the second one is to add room temperature water to steeped brew instead of cold water. But here's the problem I have with that.
Who's making iced tea with cold water?
My understanding. Well, no, I think it's that once you heat it, instead of putting cold water into it to have a fast temperature change, you use room temperature water. So so you're not going from hot boiling or near boiling to super cold. You're going your tea's still going to be warm if you use lukewarm water.
Iced tea and sweet tea is something that you make in advance, like cold brew.
Well, so that's the thing I don't, and maybe I'm thinking of, I may be conflating a couple things, but in my head, the whole sweet tea is made by putting a jug out on your patio for the afternoon.
Yeah, that's sun tea.
Oh, okay, sun tea. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
of.
you take the sun tea and let the sun warm up the thing to help it brew, and when you bring it in and it's brewed enough, then you take your sugar and put in it because it stirs up easier in the warmer water than it does with cold water or anything like that, and that's why it stays and your sugar doesn't go down to the bottom.
It's so much sugar.
my mom used to do that when I was younger than 7, and I haven't thought about that in 28 years.
I think there was a
I
big.
haven't thought about that since I watched 30 Rock.
There's a big
Yeah.
sun-made tea in the 90s. It was a very 90s thing, as far as I remember. It was a holdover from the 70s and the 80s.
Probably even earlier than that. Yep.
Yeah,
because
I remember there was I feel like it was in pop culture or something when I was a kid. There was some sort of big sun tea push, and everyone was giving each other, the sun teapot to put in the window, and you're peeing this sun.
You're peeing this.
We used to take an old pickle jar, like a dill pickle jar. When we finished them up, that's what we would make it in the glass ones.
They had official sun tea jug they would sell. That I
Like
remember.
the clear ones with the rivets on the top?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a
I have
vague
no
memory.
idea. We were very strict sweet tea people.
It was a
Southern
childhood
sweet tea.
memory that I have that doesn't make any sense to me right now.
This is a maybe stupid question, but I'm having all these things. I'm thinking about our front porch now. When I was a kid, and we used to have a metal box. Did you guys have a milkman in your life? I imagine you guys.
Yeah.
did.
We have them in Seattle, actually.
We had one probably until I was 5 or 6, maybe. So probably around 1990 it stopped.
Wow.
I remember in the 60s we had them.
But we had a metal box on our front porch, and they would come and just leave in the middle of the night, like milk in this metal box, and then you'd wake up and there'd just be milk in it. And they just paid like a subscription fee to get
No, we have those still.
weekly milk.
We have those still in Seattle, and they have other things like eggs and other kinds of beverages and food products that they'll put out there. It's called Smith Brothers Farms.
Huh.
Yeah.
Used to be daily
It's neat.
at my grandma's house.
Wow.
My dad would always talk about his grandmother having an actual ice box with a block of ice in it.
Or that big thing that sits on top. The big condenser up on top.
And having to get the ice for her because she didn't want to graduate to a refrigerator.
But I hadn't thought about that in so long, because now when we get like groceries delivered, it's always like, oh, we have to go get the milk. We have to bring it in right now because there's milk on the front porch. We have to get it right now. And when I was a kid, we probably drank milk that sat outside for 6 hours before we brought it in.
Ooh.
Well, everything about the processing was different back then too.
They drop it off at like 4 a.m. or something. You know what I mean? You wake up and it had been in the box for hours.
But it was piping hot when it came out of the cow. It's fine. It's still hot.
Exactly.
Like 4 a.m. is the coolest part of the day, basically.
I have a feeling if they were pasteurizing the milk, it probably didn't matter until you opened it for the first time. What do you think, Steve?
I mean, that I understand why you're saying that.
The track. To some extent, I mean, the milk's
I think if you were getting milk every day, you were probably just using it immediately.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think at that point, it doesn't matter yet because it hasn't been opened yet. So it's as sterile as it was going to be when it got poured into the bottle. And this can take a lot longer for the slight amount that there is in there to spoil it. So if you're doing it same day, I think it's fine. And if you're getting deliveries all the time, you're probably fine.
And in a lot of most cases,
I think it probably takes a long time for milk to curdle.
Yeah.
You got to also understand that the early morning delivery, think about people that were heading out early morning. When you see it back, down in the southern states and farming states, they're hitting, the fields pretty early or the ranch pretty early. So if it's delivered at 4, they're on their way out. They may grab it by the door and take it into their ice box before that time. Now, 6 hours, I don't know if I'd trust that one.
That's like 10 a.m. By then, I think it would only
I remember that we would just forget that it was in there. Like, oh, there's milk in the thing.
Mm-hmm.
That must be kind of annoying. Like, after all, it's just like, first it's like exciting when you're getting magic milk on your porch, but after a while, it's just like, it's like trash day. Like, I forgot to take the cans out. I forgot to bring the can of milk in.
Exactly.
Oh, great. Gotta
get
out.
Maybe that's the problem with kids today is they don't drink enough spoiled milk.
That's it. That's what made the greater generations before all the current living generations so greater than us.
Right. Well, the boomers are also a great generation because they're always reminding us how
great they are.
How great the great generation. Whatever.
I've never once seen either of my parents do a backflip. So how great could they be? Am I getting too political again?
Can you do a backflip?
Hell no. I must
Shut
great.
up.
I'm not great.
Not unless he's on his trampoline, right?
I do have that trampoline. That's pretty great. I've done a front flip on that. I could never do a backflip. There's no way. I refuse to put my body in that situation. I can't believe so many people are watching this right now. 73 people.
How many people are watching?
It's actually there's actually only the people in the chat that are posting. There's like 10 of them. The other 63, I have 63 instances of Firefox open right now.
Wow.
Just all it's 63.
Make it look like they're popular.
Thanks, Steve. Steve is
look
trying
at
to
all these views
while we're doing a show. Cool.
Are you trying to gain Google ads? Because you're going to get burned real soon if you do that.
My computer, I didn't give it an official update on the laptop.
I thought you did.
Yeah, you did.
I did.
Yeah, that you cleaned
did
it up
during the
and
Groat
you had needed a
episode.
new
It was when
battery.
Steve was down.
I said it in this
It was
video.
when I joined
No.
for
Wow.
5
The Groat.
seconds.
All right. Well, I'm using it now. I'm on the laptop, so
That's okay. You can say it again.
Apparently, you've said it a few times and you don't even remember.
I won't shut up about it.
Yeah. Hey Ryan,
You fixed
what
it
pedal
yourself.
board
That's
were you
exciting
using
stuff.
when you demoed that the Groat the other day? What pedal board were you using?
I was just using my normal, technically my church board, but I haven't played it in church in so long. It's just my regular.
Okay. I didn't know if you were using a Affordable board or not, since it was an affordable guitar.
I didn't think about it in the moment.
No, you want to play a cheap guitar through expensive pedals and an
Yeah.
expensive guitar through cheap
That
pedals.
helps the sales. Huh?
That's the test.
I should have kept them hard to play through the automaton.
I put my automaton on my band's board and I have a gig with it next Thursday and I'm kind of scared.
Yeah. I'd have very few guitars that are worth more than that pedal. That's weird to think about.
Yeah. I was looking at
At least 3.
because I have the automaton on the same board as the Milkman, the amp. I'm like, geez, between those two pedals.
Don't get your pedal board stolen.
Yeah.
No.
Back,
Like, if we knew what they were taking, they would like every gig I've ever played, I'm like, if somebody steals the guitar, they're dumb. If they steal the pedal board, they're smart. Like,
Right, totally. No, if I was going to be a thief, I'd totally steal the pedal board.
yeah, because you're smart.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to sell pedals on
Yes,
Reverb than it is to sell
Yeah.
a guitar.
Well, you sell a guitar if it's
someone
unique
steals my
at all.
Tunatone, it's a guitar they can't sell.
Right.
They can't sell that Tunatone.
As soon as it gets listed ananywhere, everyone's like, "Oh, there's Emily's guitar."
You'll track him.
Well, when
track him down
Layla, the
John
builder,
Wick
she got
style.
her the builder got her prototype stolen.
Oh,
And
right.
it got found at a pawn shop pretty much immediately. Do you want to know how much the guy at the pawn shop paid for the Tunatone?
$12.
I'm guessing like
20
70
Canadian dollars. So Ryan
20
pays
Canadian
that, right?
dollars.
Wow.
That's nothing.
And then when the guy at the pawn shop said, "How much do you sell these to people for?" to Layla, and she said, "You know, I think she's charging three grand for them right now." And he's like, "What?" So people pay money for that? She's like,
Yeah.
"Yes." I have a
It's not one of those
list.
Kramers, though. I usually sell Kramers in the pawn shop.
Do you guys
How
do any
does
of
this
you
compare to
have,
Squire?
do any of you have your serial numbers of any of your pedals written down anywhere?
No.
No.
I'm willing to bet nobody
I
does
do.
that,
I
right?
actually have some. I have
Oh,
some
really?
written down for insurance.
I should probably document on video for insurance purposes in the future. I have number 00621 automaton. Now,
Great.
if I need to file an insurance claim, I'll have to remember it was this video.
Or at least a
Good
picture
luck
of it.
with that, right?
Because then sometimes you'll have like a pedal, like an old Boss pedal, where the serial number was a label on the back, and somebody used Velcro, and it's off now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every
So-
time.
I'm always a little sad about that.
But the only reason you'd need it is to track age of the circuit.
But that's really fun too.
Yeah, but you could do that just by opening it up and looking at other details. But
That reminds me.
it is neat to have something kind of cherry. You know what? I'll say it bums me out when I have to put Velcro on the bottom of like an MIJ Boss pedal, and I'm like, I got to cover it where it says MIJ right there, and I'm covering that. That bums me out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Our priorities are correct, though.
Just swap the bottom plate.
Just swap the bottom plate. Yeah. Somewhere out there, someone is buying the cheap.
Buy a broken metal zone or something, and like a broken, something basically just to take the plate off of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
And
I
then-
had the speaking of serial numbers, I had the 0000001 Matthews Effects Astronomer V2 for a while
Oh wow.
Cool.
by mistake.
I've had a few pedals
Hmm.
come into my possession through doing demos that had unbelievably small serials. I think I had an 01 or an 02 from something, but I can't remember what. It's always fun for me to see that because I'm like, oh, I got this really early. But then I realized like I haven't thought about that feature of those pedals ever since. And I probably sold some of them without knowing, like, oh, I just sold someone, 03 of this pedal.
Yeah.
Even matters.
The lowest
Like,
serial numbers I have on commercially available pedals right now are from Bookworm Effects, because Brian usually sends them to me as soon as he's done with them at this point. Just mail it to me and send me an invoice.
Grant, as a pedal builder, what's the best range, the sweet spot for a serial number for a consumer to look at a pedal and be like, oh yeah, that's right there in that hump of good production. Before this, not so good. After that, things started going downhill a little bit. Like, your professional opinion, where's that serial number range?
I people always would say this about the there was a thing that happened with the original full drive pedals. I'm trying to remember if it was red and then it became blue, or if it was blue and it became red, or there was one color and then it changed colors and then it eventually changed colors again, or something like that. I don't remember.
It's the right color.
But what people said was, in the beginning, it was this kind of funny, like this phenomenon. Once so many pedals had sold, and I think it was like once there was like 10,000 of them out in the world, all of a sudden everybody was saying, my pedal doesn't sound the same anymore. It somehow lost its tone now that there's 10,000 of them in the population. It just didn't sound good because now it sounded somehow generic because you started hearing it everywhere. That was the go-to kind of drive for a minute in whatever year that was, like 2010, whatever. Yeah. So I remember that being a thing that was shared on the internet kind of a good bit back then in the early days of
That's funny.
Getting into boutique pedals.
That's like when you like a band and then they get popular and then you hate them.
It's kind of that same thing. They get to a certain point, you're like, they're not good anymore. And it's like, no, they're probably still good. You just maybe don't like them anymore.
It's the same band, same record, but like now they're not your sweet little
or you had bad
joy.
But it wasn't people saying the new issues of the pedals, like the later numbers were bad. They were saying that like their early pedal that they had on their board doesn't sound as good now because yeah. So obviously
it was purely like a snobbish thing. It's like if you had a Tesla first on your block and you're like, oh man, I got some hot stuff now, but then everyone gets it. Like, well, I don't like it as much anymore.
Yeah.
That's literally what happened to PT Cruisers.
I didn't like them.
PT Cruisers?
My cousin had one.
No, seriously.
The woody
they were
sides,
that cool little thing and they were expensive and then they started selling them real cheap and everybody had one and that's kind of what
In other words, everybody caught up with the Joneses.
Boys, I'm going to go hang out with my husband.
Good idea. Enjoy
enjoy the rest of your vacation.
And bye.
I'm going to stand on the Canadian border tomorrow and wait for a friend in Canada.
Make a run.
Beg them to. She said there's actually a border patrol agent right on this. Her boyfriend lives on this little road right on the border, and it's basically so. The U.S. border is kind of like on the edge of his backyard. And there's a road in addition between. And apparently, there's a patrol officer right there who just reminds people to stand 6 feet apart and not to pass anything over and to not make a run for it. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
All right. Later, fellas.
Well, good night. Take care, Emily.
Bye. No.
Look at people.
Okay, so how are you two feeling now?
She just went black, but I still see. There we go.
Wow.
I'm still in an interesting state, so I'm here.
Steve was really holding it together.
No, like
really
I said,
a change at all.
If anything, I feel like hyper focused right now.
Yeah, this has definitely impeded me for sure. It feels like I'm a camera lens that's going in and out of focus.
Like everything is you're filming a movie with your eyes.
Sean Arbo of Gun Street Wiring Shop just super chatted 420. 420, $4.
Yeah, a couple of zeros missing there.
$4.20.
Yeah.
We're doing this because Grant super chatted $420 last week. So you got some catching up to do, Sean.
You challenged me.
Use PayPal though.
Yeah, we know.
PayPal gift.
No, I love
education.
Yeah, I love that you do your wacky things that you do, Grant. I appreciate that about you. I feel a little self-conscious that it's usually money gifts, and you've always got that little wink to it, like next time you're in Nashville, you're staying with me.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what I'm like. I'm gonna like lock you in my basement.
God.
No, with all this shit going on, no one's ever coming to my house again. Stay the hell away.
Yeah. I watched Demolition Man a month or two back.
Oh.
That old chestnut. And I was
Yes.
yeah. They it was do you remember the sex scene in it? In between.
Oh yeah, the flash between.
They put on these
helmets. They're wearing those helmets.
She's like, you want to have sex? And he's like, yeah, of course I want to have sex. You're very matter of fact, and they shake hands. And they both put on these helmets. Well, she puts it on him, and he's not expecting it because he's Sylvester Stallone. And it's just like a light show, but it like lights up, parts of your brain or whatever. And I just had the thought, like, no, that actually sounds kind of fun. You can still have regular, like regular sex, and then put the helmet on afterwards. Mix the sensations.
Wear the thing.
Does
it cover your mouth? The mask?
No, it was just like a helmet that they kind of just set on top.
No, I think
you can still eat cereal and wear it.
Yeah.
So you have the sex, then you have the helmet afterwards. It's like having a cigarette afterwards.
Right. No, but
it seemed like the helmet was the act, though. Like,
right, but I'm saying,
you have a cigarette after the helmet.
Sylvester Stallone acts like he's disgusted by the device. It's clearly pleasurable,
right?
It's portrayed as pleasurable, but he acts like, how this is awful. I couldn't endure it if I wanted to. I'm saying, Sylvester Stallone, open up a little bit and mix them together.
So why not? You would wear the pleasure helmet?
Make it part of your thing with your partner. Like, we're going to do the helmet for a little bit, and then we're going to do the regular stuff, and then we'll, dabble in the helmet a little bit. You will wear the helmet. I'll watch,
That new kind of foreplay.
And you got to hide your helmet from the kids so they don't find your weird kinky helmet.
Now this is just making me think of Spaceballs.
Oh no, the cone heads, and remember the ring that they have to put on?
Yes, yeah.
After I said pleasure helmet, I realized I think that's a cake album.
No. Is it?
God.
It sounds like a absolutely.
The next album review.
I just noticed the thing running at the bottom of the screen.
It's been off and on for like about an hour.
Put it on.
Very observant.
Really noticing it. How long can I expect this to last? Is this a couple
hours? 12 hours?
How long?
Like 12 hours?
Probably till November.
Shut up.
Happy Thanksgiving, Ryan.
Basically, you've changed forever now. I just want you to understand that nothing is ever going to be the same.
Well, I definitely feel like it's got to be some sort of gateway drug because I'm ready to just do hard heroin now.
Have you ordered a pair of Birkenstocks yet?
I think he already had some.
Oh, yeah,
he's like nibbling on granola.
I've never had. I've never owned Birkenstocks or anything resembling them. I probably would have worn them if they were available to me. I suppose. Aren't they expensive?
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm having the feeling that's portrayed in popular culture. I don't feel, psychedelic.
It's not like a Cheech and Chong movie, then.
No, it's like a different kind of like drunk. I don't know. That's how I describe it.
Well,
just into the fire.
Yeah.
They killed the conversation.
Awkward.
It's gonna keep staring at you now.
That's a trope.
I cannot speak from experience. I have no idea what it's like.
So here's the other problem.
The movie is
No, I'm a government employee, so I couldn't do it even if I wanted to.
The movies portray there being an annoying person who won't stop talking about marijuana, and here I am being that person.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, next week you have like the weed shirt and
yeah.
I was going to say that the other problem with this is, there's the whole, and it was mentioned. I think Damien mentioned it last week when we were talking about it, and he was saying like, "Oh, you should get some snacks because you're going to get hungry." And the problem is because this is like a 3, the whole process for us is like, I don't know, 3 hours. Like, I usually am pretty hungry by the time we're done it, regardless.
Yeah, no kidding.
Like when we would get together, when we were, before COVID, we were podcasting in the same room. Like I would eat when I get to your house, and a lot of times, like I would go home and eat like another full meal.
Yeah, which
explains a lot of things about my blood, my blood health.
He's got blood. How bad is it? How bad is your blood?
I don't know. It used to be mad love, but now it's just bad blood.
Oh my gosh.
Triglycerides are that bad, huh?
That was a throwback to the episode.
That was my that was my thing though. Like I've got the diabetes, but the rest of my blood is sparkly clean. I'm in excellent health otherwise. But I wouldn't think so. I think I'd be in trouble all over the map, but apparently I'm fine. But you're the opposite. Everything else is bad, I'm supposing, or a couple.
I mean, it's just triglycerides and cholesterol or whatever.
You got 2 weeks.
So triglycerides.
Start planning the funeral.
It happens to us all as we get older.
It's okay. I was just killed by COVID.
I mean, there's a lot to be said, but live for today because tomorrow may not be here.
Killed by COVID is a very early 2000s band name. Pretty good.
Oh, especially if it's formed in 2020.
Check out my friend's band, Killed by COVID. They're going to be playing at the All Ages this weekend. They're going to play a bar next week. That's pretty good. They kind of sound like Emery, I guess.
Did you say like Emery?
So are they like a jam band? Or are they like, rhythm and blues? Are they?
No, I think they're new metal.
Oh God.
It kind of works for new metal. Someone posted a picture of Mudvayne somewhere on the internet today. And I was looking at it and I was like, I mean, it looks like fun. These guys with the makeup and the double hair and stuff. Yeah, okay, I'll give them a chance. They look like they're having a good time.
I have this weird thing where I really like Wes Borland a lot.
Yeah,
I don't listen to Limp Bizkit I don't.
No, I haven't
often listen to them, but I really, really like Wes Borland, and I think like from the interviews I've seen and read, I think like that just seems like one of the more interesting people in rock and roll, if that's what you call what they do.
No, I remember that. Like I think we had MTV or something, and I remember seeing these videos for Limp Bizkit, and I think that was the first time I saw a big pedal board.
Yeah,
he would have these big pedal boards, like double boards that were just huge. He had everything on there, and as a young guitarist, I was just like, man, that's got to be the dream. My wife is razzing us in the comment section. Hi, honey. Oops.
It's gone.
You should tell her to come in and take one of your little edibles and then see how she acts after an hour or so.
Right.
Eat the brownie and all of a sudden she loves Limp Bizkit.
No, I think
wine.
I think new metal is still bad, but I think we forget how fun bad it is. It's kind of good bad. It's a guilty pleasure sort of concept. Where it's like,
they had to have known as well.
Oh yeah. No, I think they're self-aware about it. I think you can't do that and not be like, this is kind of silly, right? We're kind of silly. All right, this is funny. Okay.
I read an interview with Wes Borland once where apparently I think his dad is a pastor and his mother is like a librarian or something. Like they're both very, like not the parents that you would expect for this crazy person that has all black eyeballs and whatever. But he said his mom's always concerned about him because whenever he takes a new record home, they always want to hear the new record. They're like, oh, play us your new music. And so he's just coughing and sneezing the whole time because he doesn't want them to hear the cuss words.
Right. And
his mom's always like, are you sick, honey? Every time you come over, you're coughing and sneezing. And, just because he's trying to be polite and not,
Right.
Also,
so is this like so when we're saying that this is cute, clever, whatever, are we saying then that there is merit to the genre or just certain songs or just certain bands or,
I'm going to say it's, I have no idea if I'm answering your question right now, but I'm going to say new metal is the ska of metal. That's what popped into my head.
New metal is the ska of metal.
Ska of metal.
Right.
So it's danceable.
It's fun. It's the funny metal.
There's definitely I mean,
there's a lighthearted element to it, even though like they might be rapping about dark stuff or serious stuff or whatever. I mean, even Rage Against the Machine, there's something kind of typical about there,
Whoa.
What I was gonna say is new metal. I think new metal is the difference between metal and new metal is the party where they're like, I've got a keg, and metal is the party where like every once in a while, this dude down the street throws a party and somebody dies, but it's only like once every 3 years, so we kind of just let it happen.
And they don't call the police right away. They just like let the dead body lay there for a while because
they just think he's passed out.
Well, no, they know he's dead. It's just super metal. Just leave the body.
My wife,
we're partying. There's a dead guy there.
My wife called out the memory that he just thrown up in my house.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I can't read that fast.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He pops it up real quick.
Steven's party. We provided the bucket. Like he was in the bucket though. Like
she's emptying the closet of all his skeletons.
No, I think we've talked about. I think we talked about that on the show once.
Oh, I'm sure I think we talked about it soon after it happened. Like,
yeah,
Steve,
are you alive?
Are you alive?
Turns out I am.
You overlapped too many drinks too quick. Was that a party or was that like Thanksgiving? I can't remember.
I think it was. The one I'm thinking of was the rib party.
Rib party. That's right. Yeah.
Ribs.
That was there wasn't a lot of food at that party.
Yeah, they got it eaten up.
It was like, it was like there was a lot of meat, but not much else. I needed more starch.
Yeah. Remember having parties, guys? Before I had kids, this isn't even about COVID.
Actually, I thought you were going to bring up mayonnaise again.
Oh, gosh.
Like potato salad, coleslaw.
Don't blame the lack of food.
Baked beans.
I'm not eating enough. Yeah, I think that wasn't the amount of food. It was the amount of booze Steve drank.
I definitely remember there being. I have a distinct memory. It's because Mitch bailed.
Oh, so you had to do the drinking?
No, because there were supposed to be more ribs.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. That's right. What was that? I forgot.
It's like, yeah.
It's weird, right? Like I remember so much about this party.
Right? We're gonna fight about this. This is gonna be the last episode of the show.
That's what I was thinking earlier when Steve said you guys are going in different directions. I was like, this is the moment. I broke up the podcast.
You almost fried my computer with those drinks you bought me, and now you ruined the podcast by getting me high. And Steve brings up sensitive subjects like
You're having creative differences now.
I can't believe you brought up a party.
Way to go, Yoko.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't bring it up.
Sorry about that.
Lauren brought it up.
Hey, Ryan, did you ever go back and look at the podcast of you spilling and see your eyes?
I haven't.
Oh, that was hilarious. I mean, I told you I didn't really want to laugh at a bad thing, but I mean, when it happened, and that moment on the camera and those eyes, and oh shit, comes out.
And I counted 3 goddammits.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, he must be really upset.
I did a fun edit of that for the audio podcast. We kind of like shortened the whole thing up.
Yeah, most people probably don't have video proof of them doing that when that happens.
You didn't see the glass because it would be out of frame, but you saw me like, oh
yeah, it was those eyes that just, oh gosh.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to grab Instagram.
Like a reaction video, like that. If that became a reaction trend, like you film yourself pouring drinks on your computer, and the face you make right before your computer goes down, if you can save it somehow.
Thing on TikTok is like, oh, you got to make spill on your computer face, and like everyone's trying to like find the perfect spill your computer face.
You know, you could probably put a whole video together just on your reactions to see either certain pedals, things that sounds just, how does this sound? Yeah, exactly.
Like
I think that would be a great one.
Are you saying like a pedal demo where he like destroys a pedal?
No, he doesn't destroy a pedal. It's just whenever he does certain things and he doesn't quite like maybe the sound, maybe he's got to adjust this or something like that, he does a very interesting face where this didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to or something.
I was imagining like, you know, hi, I'm going to demo this pedal, and then you just like dump it in like a bucket of beer.
Well, we did a pedal demo with a Pelican Noiseworks half horse.
Oh yeah,
that wasn't working. I think that was with right? Co Schneider.
Yeah.
And so Leon was like, "Oh, don't return it. It's broken. Just like smash it and make a video of it if you want to. I don't care." So Co came over and we framed it as a live video of of doing a demo. We're like, Pelican Noiseworks demo. And what demo meant was demolition instead of demonstration. And so it's
amazing.
It's like chasing it around the yard with a hammer, smashing it up. I got pissed at that. It really angered a lot of people.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've talked about it here or not, but there's an artist. He's deceased now, but he ate an airplane. Do you know who this guy was?
No.
I've heard of that. I've heard it's. Yeah.
Okay, everybody's heard of Yule Gibbons. I've heard of Yule Gibbons. He'll eat anything.
No, well, this guy had a condition where he could digest metal. Something like the lining of his stomach was extra thick, and he could eat whatever he wanted. And somehow he discovered this at a young age, and so he started eating like bicycles and like.
Oh wow!
Ultimately, he ate, I think, 1 or 2 airplanes. And it took him, like 2 or 3 years. He would just grind it up into small bits and then eat like a spoonful of an airplane a day. But I thought,
that's right there. That's going to clear you out.
Yeah. And it was, do you know who Simon the Magpie is?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a period of time where he was destroying DS1 pedals, dropping pianos on them, shooting them with guns, doing all kinds of things. And I thought that would be to kind of like do the similar thing, but for him to eat a DS1 pedal would have been quite a scene.
You wouldn't that's different than eating a bicycle though, because aren't there like really bad metallic components in circuitry? Bicycle is not great, or an airplane.
Heavy
Simon
metals.
seems like the kind of guy that
the silver. Yeah.
He doesn't care if he's passing silica chips 2 days later.
An airplane surely has a lot of stuff in it that.
Right. Do you think he was really eating every, like the Snap
Like the
information's probably out there. I'm
grease
not
and the
sure.
That's what he
gears.
claimed. They said it took 2 years.
That seems
Yeah.
fast.
And I think it says every part of the airplane. He ate the whole thing. Like, so.
It's another one of those stories. Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
I mean, we're talking about him now. That's something, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's infamous now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's more
You
than
can do
famous.
DS1 in
He's
like a month.
infamous.
They're kind of famous.
I saw what your wife put up there, that last thing about being scared of Cardboard Steve. That was hilarious.
Yeah, I got it hidden around the corner in the garage, so I wouldn't be surprised if she came in and got spooked by it.
I think you just put me away.
I might need Cardboard Steve again.
Fold in half, put in drawer.
I'm gonna frame you for a murder.
You should just start using it so you can take the carpool
Yes,
lane.
I do.
Yeah,
Carpool Steve.
end up in a police lineup. Unsolved mystery.
It's gonna be me. It's gonna be a police lineup with me, Cardboard Steve, some other people, whatever, I don't know.
Dad.
And they're gonna be like, well, it's either that guy, and they're gonna point at me, or they're like, or it's that one, and it's Cardboard Steve. And it's like, I don't know which one of them did this crime, but it was one of them.
It's the same picture.
In my head, it was a woman, but for some reason, I did like a mafia voice.
Yeah.
Ma'am, do you see the killer standing before you? Number 3, step forward, please. Now recite this line. And Cardboard Steve's just...
Yeah, it's just silent.
That's him. That's him.
Cardboard Steve gets hauled off to jail, and regular Steve is like, all right.
I mean, hopefully in that case, Cardboard Steve was the actual killer. Death by paper cut.
Oh, damn. Here's the real question from Sean Arbo of Gun Street Winery Shop. Go check them out. Buy something from those guys. Cardboard Blake versus Cardboard Steve.
I heard Cardboard Blake doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, I think the winner's already decided there. I'd also.
Or he's like in pieces.
Well,
He's
he's
like
headless now, but that doesn't mean he can't.
He could certainly come back.
Here's my question. Which do you think is most well known at this point, Cardboard Blake or Cardboard Steve? There's two different guitar communities.
I think Cardboard Blake, because his community is just bigger than ours.
Yeah, I still have to say Steve because I'm the only one that I follow this channel more than anything.
Yeah, I would think Blake, maybe just from being on the NAMM floor, walking around a couple years in a row.
Yeah, but we've talked about Cardboard Steve a lot. I don't know. You're
Only
probably
here.
It's probably Blake. It's probably Cardboard Blake is.
Well, just because I'm saying by being at the NAMM floor, that hits a lot of people that don't even listen to podcasts.
Yeah, Cardboard Steve hasn't met anybody. Has not met a single person. Only you and Lauren and your kids. I guess you guys are people, but you know what I mean. We're a greater world.
Yes.
I feel like toot my own horn, but yeah, we're people.
You're people, but like you're not those people.
You people.
Oh man, I saw somebody put up a link to the Bullet Mustangs are like $100 right now.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, they're back down.
They were like, there was two colors, white and green for $129, but they also had kind of like open box or whatever for $103.
Whoa.
And
Dang.
that guitar, because AWOL Pedals has one of those guitars that he's done all sorts of mods to, but it weighs nothing.
Yeah, they're super.
And I use my Pure Salem La Flaca when I test pedals because it has a single coil and a humbucker in it, and I like that I can have both worlds. But it weighs like 4,000 pounds,
Yeah.
And I have a bad back to begin with. I'm like becoming an old man. And so I kind of wanted to get one of those Mustangs. I've been thinking about it, and just looking at your guitars back there reminded me of it. I think I want to get one because just so I can have that to play. I'll put a humbucker in it or a single coil in the neck or something.
Yeah,
I don't even care what it looks like, but just so I can not hurt after testing, pedals for a couple hours. It sucks.
Totally. No, they're feather light. The one I had was a great player. I thought the pickup sounded decent. I mean, for $150, $160 something guitar, or whatever they are normally now.
Oh, I thought they were even more than that. I thought they were like $200 or something.
No, I don't think so. I think they're a really fantastic guitar. And yeah, the lightweight, thin body thing, they're fantastic. I sold mine because someone made me a generous offer.
Made you an offer you couldn't refuse.
Yeah, and I keep to get another, but I'm really trying to push hard into having less guitars here and trying to limit how many I can have. And I've covered it. I feel like there's no reason for me to get a new one because I've already covered the Mustang to death. It would be for me to have it because I like it. Man, I just can't justify it at this moment. So I'm going to be kicking myself.
That's a hard thing not to do. Is to figure what can you have, what can't you have, because I don't know, anytime I see something that I like or aesthetically, all of a sudden it does. And then even like you did for the Groat, it was a simple guitar, but it sounded so good, at least over the podcast. And I kind of fell in love with it. I'm saying, but I'm looking at my wall and I'm thinking, what do I do?
Yeah, where do I put it? That's kind of where I am right now. It's like I have to look at this from the business side, where it's like it's my job to keep covering new stuff. I can't hold on to sacred cows and be like, well, I can't get rid of this because I like it a little bit when I need the room for the next thing that's going to come in to generate clicks and subscribers and stuff like that. So I need to have a more rotating door mentality to my guitars is what I've been thinking. I sold the Harley Benton Brian May style thing like a week ago.
Wow.
I love that guitar. Super cool guitar. But I need to make room. And it's kind of a weird thing to push on the channel. It hits such a weird niche where it's like, if I was a Brian May lover and I was always referencing, Queen riffs on the channel, it would make more sense because of course I've got to have this. But because I'm playing surf riffs through it, it doesn't make any sense marketing wise. Like I'm not helping sell it any more than any other channel, I guess. But it's just like it's a good guitar, and I think people should buy it if they want it. But I don't think it was providing content.
Like fans in your demographic are not going to gravitate towards that guitar.
Yeah, but I think it's cool because it's got the trisonic pickups in it, and it's different. It's a really good player. But yes, like it just doesn't hit the demographic right. It doesn't hit my audience right for the most part. So
yeah, you got to be like Trogley. You got to keep moving because that's what he does.
I think I need to shift my mentality because my gut is I want to keep a lot of stuff and I can't. I won't let myself do it. My wife is in the chat. She'll confirm, like she's giving me permission to like spread out into the house a little bit, like have more hangers in the house. And I'm just like, no, I need to limit it. Oh my God.
Do you have any guitars that you can't keep with your other guitars because you feel that they don't look like they have to go in a different part of their house in a different room because it won't match the vibe of the other guitars?
No, I'm afraid they'll reproduce. It's I'm not totally clear on the gender of all my guitars. So if I put the wrong in the morning and little everywhere, and they lay like 12 of them at a time. It's I can't deal with that.
Yeah.
I definitely have guitars that I can't keep next to each other.
Right.
Just
so that
makes
sense because you need a theme.
Yeah. I've got it's like silly, but so I'll put one in upstairs in the kitchen because that's a good place for guitars in the kitchen.
Yeah,
but because I can't have it with the other guitars on the rack because it doesn't. Because it's blue.
You need a kitchen guitar.
Yeah,
one to catch all the grease.
Bathroom guitar.
Yeah,
one to catch all the
guitar.
The relking process for necks to get that really greasy neck is like you just hang a neck over like your oven fan. You just like cook bacon.
Somebody asked about what's a good and a bad relic. Recently, I think it was in the group. But so a good relic is when it is done with eggs.
Okay.
When the finish is destroyed with egg splatter. That's a good relic.
You just get it all eggy. And then
the protein in the eggs does the trick on the finish. Okay.
Yeah.
It seems like that would like
is that really a thing?
Wait, now.
What else are they gonna do?
Now it is.
I gotta say, Steve can look it up.
Well, I was just thinking of like how when you egg someone's car, just the white,
like kind of like
there's like a protein interaction,
right?
So I don't know. Maybe it's just the eggshell. Now I want to throw eggs at a guitar.
That's it. That's your next video. Yeah, you get
egg
whatever old guitar you've got, hang it in the backyard. Take a couple dozen eggs and just egg out of the guitar, and then clean it up and see what happens to the finish.
Let it dry,
and then maybe just clear coat it,
flake it off, and then do a new clear coat.
You guys want egg wash finish on
wash?
Yeah. Can
I put it in the oven a little bit with a little brown sugar on there?
Hey, it's your guitar.
That's like a roasted. Now it's roasted. Whatever the wood is. Right?
Roasted maple.
Like roasted maple's been done. That's old hat. We've got it.
Eggerator. I don't know.
Souffled maple.
Bruce Eggerator.
There's a lot of ways to cook a maple. I'm saying.
It's
smoked maple, microwaved maple, easy bake maple.
maple and eggs though.
Grilled maple.
Well, you gotta. I was gonna say bacon, eggs, maple syrup.
There you go. Maple syrup finish. There's a.
It looks like pancakes.
Pancake, yeah. The golden pancake.
It looks like pancakes.
I saw people talking about them a lot for 6 months.
Oh. Gentlemen, my phone says it's at 1% battery life, so I am going to call it a night. Thank you. Appreciate the hang.
Let's all call it a night. I'm done.
A bunch of work as well.
Yeah,
that sounds good.
All right, guys. Good hangout. Grant, you're ridiculous with your super chat. I've got 9 more. Steve's got 9 more.
You guys are ridiculous.
So
that's true.
I don't. What do you think, Steve?
And so are you guys.
You still haven't felt anything, Steve?
I don't know.
Yeah. I understand, Steve. I don't
Night, guys.
feel anything.
Like I said, I feel like I'm more. Like I said, I feel actually more focused than normal.
I don't know if
which could be a thing.
I don't know if I'd do this again on this show, but we'll see. Well, maybe I'll break it out at special occasions. Eventually, we will have a 420th episode.
Well, that's the thing about like medicine. You know, like you give one kid Ritalin that doesn't need Ritalin, and they'll act crazy and jump off the walls and bounce off the walls. And if you give another kid Ritalin that does need it, they will act calm.
Right.
So
maybe it's a reverse thing.
Like medicine, you're having different results.
Yeah, totally.
So
will both of them sleep well tonight, though?
I hope so. I actually have a lot of trouble with sleep, so I might try them for that in the near future. That was kind of my thought.
Just to kind of relax you, huh?
I just had trouble falling asleep a lot of nights, so we'll see if that could be a help. I kind of feel tired right now. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Bye, everyone.
All right, guys.
Let's see you guys.
Take care.
See you guys.
All right.
Good.